moment in recent memory, an 11-day period saw L.A. trade for Von Miller and sign free agent Odell Beckham Jr. Popcorn might not do the trick tonight. Could do something a little stronger for the kind of show the Rams are now capable of putting on. They're going to sell a few of those jerseys around the globe. L.A. taking their road show with the red carpet on the road, visiting their NFC West untraveled, the 49ers, here at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, as we welcome you to the progressive Monday night kickoff. And, well, sometimes you're in the right place at the right time. Excited here on Monday Night Football, see the debut of both Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. for the Rams. I'm Steve Levy, Louis Riddick, Brian Greasy, Lisa Salters on the way. The Rams were already going for it. They were already all in. Then they add Odell Beckham Jr. to one of the great wide receiver rooms in the league. He signs on Friday. An hour later, Robert Woods is injured, tore his ACL at practice, out for the season. So, OBJ originally, you think he's a luxury, but now he's more of a necessity.
Yeah, and first things first, you're heartbroken for Robert Woods. I mean, the entire team is, and around the NFL, one of the more respected players out there. We all wanted to see Cup and Woods and Beckham. We're not going to get that this year, unfortunately. And for Odell Beckham, this is going to be a challenge tonight, as it's going to be for Sean McVay. He is trying to learn basically a new language and doing it on a big stage tonight where Sean McVay had to make some tweaks to the game plan late in the week, not knowing if Robert Woods was going to be available. So we'll see what Odell Beckham can do tonight and provide on the offensive side.
Yeah, and in terms of what he provides, a lot of that's going to come down to what does Matthew Stafford do for this offense here tonight. Look, when you send your starting quarterback out of town and you ship 2 number-1 draft picks and a 3rd-round pick out of town also in order to acquire a player like this, he has to be the X factor. He has to be the guy that makes bad things good, good things great. That comes from Cooper Kupp, not me. Cooper Kupp said that. And Matthew Stafford is one of those guys that everybody raves about, not just his physical ability on the field, but his beautiful mind as far as his football intellect. And it needs to be on display tonight in terms of Odell Beckham Jr. and how productive he can be.
Well, the whole league is obviously buzzing about the Rams. The Niners are way under the radar here tonight. Think about it. A season and a half ago, they're in the Super Bowl, yet losing 5 or 6 this season. They win tonight. They're a half game out of the wild card.
Yeah, this is a make-or-break game, I think, for the 49ers. They have won the last 4 meetings against these Rams, and there's no secret sauce as to how they won 4 in a row. It all started with the mentality and the physicality that they play with. We talked with Sean McVay. He said there's no question. They were the more physical team in these 4 games. It starts with guys like Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, early in this game.
Yeah, the defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryan, said 3 things about precision, effort, and physicality tonight. Know what you're doing, get great effort in what you're doing, and when you get there, arrive with a bad attitude. And then tonight, Fred Warner, who you see on your screen, he has to be the guy who epitomizes it on the defensive side of the ball.
It's been 393 days. Think about that for a second. Since the 49ers last won a home game, October last season against these Rams. It's the Rams and the 49ers coming up on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Are you ready for some football? Then, now, forever together, WWE as well. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Currently listening, audio only, live watch, long reactions, live here on YouTube. But thank you for tuning in. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. NFL Monday Night Football. Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, along with WWE Monday Night Raw, the go-home for Survivor Series this upcoming Sunday. Live watch-along reactions live right here on YouTube. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below with that thumbs-up button. Share, hashtag NFL, hashtag Rams, hashtag 49ers, as Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. will both make their Ram debuts tonight on Monday night. Hashtag WWE, hashtag WWE Raw, as well as mentioned WWE Survivor Series this upcoming Sunday, they are in the Heartland tonight for Raw as the current WWE champion, Big E, kicks off the show. We'll get more into the world of professional wrestling throughout the evening, so stay tuned. And hopefully you'll tune in actually a week from tonight for my live watch-along reactions live right here on YouTube of WWE Survivor Series, as I will be watching on a day delay due to NFL action, of course, next Sunday with the Cowboys and Chiefs, along with the Steelers and Chargers. Of course, that follows college football this upcoming weekend as well on Saturday with Rutgers and Penn State. So schedule as follows. On Saturday, it'll be college football, Rutgers, Penn State, a doubleheader next Sunday in the National Football League with the Dallas Cowboys and Kansas City Chiefs, which should be a very good game. Sunday Night Football next week. Hopefully we'll be better than the past few weeks on NBC as well, with Pittsburgh and the other LA team and the Chargers. But tonight on Monday Night Football, the Rams, who are also in Los Angeles, they are on the road in the Bay Area, up north in Santa Clara, taking on the San Francisco 49ers here tonight on Monday Night Football from Levi's Stadium. Seth Rollins put out a tweet earlier today. It's been about a decade since the Shield debuted. A few years later, of course, he turned on them, and then less than a year after that, cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 31 inside Levi's Stadium, the host of Monday Night Football tonight. So as we come full circle, got an interesting, to say the least, must-win game for the 49ers, sitting at 3-5, needing a win to, even with a lot of football left to be played, yes, no doubt about it, to potentially stay alive in the playoff hunt, as of course the 14-team expanded playoffs will return once again in about 2 months from now. 7 in the AFC, 7 in the NFC. This is an NFC West battle tonight with the Manning cast back as well, Peyton and Eli, with a few guests over on ESPN2. But I, as I always do, watch the normal broadcast, at least when I stream. Now, if I'm not streaming, doing a live watch-along reaction of Monday Night Football, yeah, of course, I'll have the Manning brothers on. But, of course, Steve Levy, along with Louis Riddick and Brian Greasy on the call with Lisa Salters down on the field as we wrap up this Veterans Day weekend. Once again, just want to say thank you to everyone who has served or who is, of course, currently serving in the United States military, regardless of the branch. Thank you. As the NFL will continue their salute to service, so we'll have the national anthem by the Voices of Service. Colin Kaepernick's not playing. Hasn't played in a few years, so he's not taking a knee right now on the sideline by any means. But Jimmy Garoppolo will, in fact, get the start for the Niners tonight. But, of course, rookie quarterback out of North Dakota State and Trey Lance will also see some action, I would think, tonight as well. And then you flip it over to the Rams, as mentioned, in former Bronco and Von Miller's debut for LA, along with former now Giant and Brown, respectively, in OBJ. When's the drama start is the big question I have, if he doesn't get the football. Arguably, yeah, no doubt, he's on the best team he's been on in his young NFL career to this point. I mean, the Giants were, pretty decent when he was there. But that boat pitcher, hell, the Giants haven't been the same ever since. And they traded him to Cleveland. That really didn't work out a whole lot. Didn't play against, he did, play against Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago on Halloween. But then that crazy week we had early November, in sports in general with all the NFL injuries, the NFL trade deadline, just everything else going on in the sports world as well. That's when the news came out that, he's gone AWOL basically, and, he wasn't practicing, he wasn't playing. The Rams, in the meantime, right before the deadline, traded for Von Miller, and then OBJ later on that week was released, cleared waivers, was going to sign, what was it, Monday, if I'm not mistaken, or he was going to wait it out, and he ended up signing this past Thursday with the Rams in a little bit of a shock. I mean, it was down to LA, Green Bay, from what I saw yesterday, I guess Pittsburgh took a look at him. I doubt they would have ended up signing him, though, to be honest with you, as a Steeler fan myself, coming off of the tie yesterday with the Lions at 16. But, and we'll, as always, come to halftime, recap and preview the NFL from this past week and next week with first half stats and scores. So stay tuned as we're about to kick off here on ESPN here, 8:15 this Monday night, November the 15th, 2021. So thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button. Share. Chat questions and comments. Super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated as well. But he's now a Ram. It's a 1-year deal for OBJ. We'll get into the discussion, of course, in the offseason of whether or not, he'll end up signing long-term or end up elsewhere with another, I would expect, at least in college football, with the coaching carousel potentially going to be as big and hot as ever, especially with some big-name programs. But, NFL, same point in time, there'll be a few head coaches fired, but what I'm getting at is with free agency, especially at the quarterback level, at that position, it's a quarterback-driven league. I mean, the Rams this past year, they just traded Jared Goff, former number 1 overall pick, to Motown to get Matthew Stafford straight up. So a 1-for-1. The Rams still aren't going to have a first-round pick next few years, but they don't care. They're playing with who they have. And it's next man up mentality. If somebody goes down, and Robert Woods went down with an ACL injury on Friday and is now done for the season. So more injuries occurring this past week around the league. But, luckily for them, they ended up signing Odell Beckham Jr. to a 1-year deal, basically just for the remaining part of the season. So it's a half-year contract, if you will, for a little over the league minimum. And he should have an effect, I would think, tonight, especially now basically going to step up and take over Robert Woods' role. But Stafford at quarterback, as the Rams sit at 7-2 on the road here tonight on Monday Night Football against the 3-5 49ers. He also has Cooper Kupp to throw to, who is arguably a top-tier number 1 wide receiver in the NFL when healthy. So OBJ going to be wearing his old LSU number 3, no more 13 for the former Giant and Brown. But Stafford, he'll get the ball out to his playmakers, no doubt about it. He'll distribute it. With Sean McVay, of course, calling the plays. They'll run the football. They'll open up the pass, beat you on the play action, run the screen game as well. Special teams could be a factor tonight on both sides. But I feel this game, in the end, is going to be one up front in the trenches. Cue Monday Night Football theme, please and thank you. As I am looking live at Levi's Stadium and the 49ers are about to kick off. Rams back deep to receive. We'll probably have a touchback if I'd have to guess. 1st and 10 from the 25. But whoever can protect their quarterback the best is going to end up winning. as mentioned, it's a quarterback-driven league. Return out past the 20 to the 25, so if it would have been a touchback, well, 1st and 10 from the 25. They returned it. Still 1st and 10 to start here from the 25-yard line. But, it's a quarterback-driven league. You got to be able to protect your quarterback and get after the opposing quarterback. With Von Miller now in L.A. with the Rams on the edge, with Aaron Donald still in the middle. Somebody's going to get double-teamed, but then somebody's going to get unblocked a few too many times probably tonight. On the flip side, too, the 49ers have a damn good defensive line, no doubt about it. But there's going to be a few miscues. There's going to be a few too many sacks probably. Look for turnovers to play a potential factor. First play of the game, 1st and 10 from 25, 10 seconds in. Simple out route to the far sideline, and Matthew Stafford hits the new Ram in Odell Beckham Jr. for a reception of about 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and short here for the former Lion quarterback, now Ram, and the LA offense and Matthew Stafford with number 12, Van, moving on up Jefferson, in motion, officially 5 yards. Okay, he must have stepped out of bounds a yard or so sooner than I thought. But in the meantime, very next play, handoff, and number 27, Darrell Henderson, gets a Ram first down. So move the 6, 1st and 10 for LA. Of course, they lost Cam Akers back in the preseason to a season-ending injury at running back. Traded for Sonny Michel from New England. Pats at 6-4. Have everyone talking right now as if they never left. Technically they didn't, but they did. But they're playing some damn good football right now. They'll be on Monday Night Football in a few weeks against the Bills. Trips in a bunch, top of your screen, 1st and 10, and a completion to Cooper Kupp. And he's going to get a few yards. So 2nd down for LA, as they're going to try to move the ball downfield here early in prime time at San Fran. Just luckily they're not playing in the same type of weather that the Colts were playing in a few weeks back on a Sunday night. But it does seem a little foggy here, but of course with pregame and fireworks wrapping up, that still, as Stafford's going to go deep down the middle of the field, and it's going to be picked off at the 10, and then Beckham makes the tackle at the 5. So an early turnover, as they here early and often are trying to hit Beckham, but there's more than just Odell Beckham Jr. on this team. You won without him to this point. Now you're, of course, trying to get him involved. I get it, but I think you're trying to do a little too much with him here. And San Francisco's ready for it, no doubt about it, and it's going to cost the Rams. Hell, he went deep, but Beckham, new signing for LA. He stopped a little bit. Question is, because he just signed Thursday, how much of the playbook does he really know? He's an NFL wide receiver. Just get the hell open. Quarterback will get you the football. That's on Stafford, though. Because if he would have, I get he went deep, but he didn't have to go that deep. Kupp, middle of the field was wide open. They could have went back to him on a post if he, of course, still had to scramble around, which he didn't, but because he stepped up in the pocket. But just make a play and get the hell open. They probably would have got a first down out of that if he would have hit Kupp over the middle, but he went deep for Beckham, and it cost him. And now we'll see what the 49er offense can do with Jimmy G, the former Patriot, and how good this Ram defensive line is now going to be with Von Miller being added in alongside Aaron Donald. And, they still have Leonard Floyd. They still have Troy Reader at linebacker as well, who's arguably one of the most underrated backers in the NFL right now, I'd say. He's always making plays. He's all over the field. And then, of course, in the back end, you got to deal with Jalen Ramsey. So the stars just keep getting bigger in Hollywood. And we'll see how good this Ram team can potentially be, over the next few months. They'll host the Super Bowl, both them and the Chargers, at SoFi come February. Will one, if not both, be in it for an LA Bowl? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, I would think right now, Chargers playing some damn good football. Lost on a close one, though, yesterday. Back to old habits. The Rams, out of the two teams, are going to have the most potential to get to that point. But you still got to deal with what's in front of you first. It's one thing at a time. And Beckham's still learning. I get it. I totally understand it. Everybody makes mistakes, but how do you respond? So we'll see. As Troy Reader, 51, will make the tackle at the 10-yard line. He reminds me a lot of Paul Postlesny, the former Penn Stater who played in Buffalo and Jacksonville before hanging it up a few years back. He's all over the field. So a big tackle by him, as San Fran will be empty. 5 wide actually now. Garoppolo under center with a motion near side. Another toss play. And another first down. First by the Niners tonight, as Deebo Samuel, number 19, the former Gamecock, gets a San Francisco 49er first down. We'll see what George Kittle does. Knowing me, I always say, you got to run the football. You have to be able to run the football, especially when the game's on the line late. We'll see if both these teams can at that point in time. But, really, with two young offensive-minded coaches, and Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, two former colleagues together as assistant coaches in D.C. with the Washington Redskins, now, of course, the Washington football team who beat the Bucs yesterday, or, of course, whatever the hell their name will be next year or in the years to come. Under Mike Shanahan, Kyle's dad, the former Bronco head coach who won a few Super Bowls with John Elway and Mile High and TD in the backfield. And, they're a great offensive line and they're even better defense. We'll see, of course, if they have any tricks up their sleeve tonight. They faced off a few times now, of course, being in the NFC West, they play each other twice a year. San Francisco has won 4 in a row in the series, so the Rams haven't won in 2+ years against these 49ers, but that was with, of course, Jared Goff at the helm playing quarterback. He's now in Motown with the Lions, who tied the Steelers just down the road, down the Steel City at Heinz Field, 16-16, but really, with their running game, I'm surprised I'm about to say this, but it's really going to be not there tonight, I don't think. Kittle on the reception near side. I mean, balance, consistency, run the pass run, of course. Tight end screen near side, and Kittle gets a big first down. But, normally, like I always say, you have to be able to run the football. And, we'll see if these teams can when they need to late. But it's going to be, I would say, more explosive plays, more so than running the football tonight. But at the same time, as the 49ers line up out of the eye, another toss near side. And number 25, as 44, Kyle Juszczyk with a nice block to open up the hole, and then a spin move. But, yeah, Elijah Mitchell really didn't go anywhere. Missed tackle there by Leonard Floyd. And then Aaron Donald was the one who ended up bringing him down. So, it's still, I feel, going to be one up front. It's who can protect the quarterback the most. I mean, and the turnovers, like I said, the one interception there by Stafford is hurting now because they're starting to get a good drive going. Here the 49ers are. Got a whistle, maybe a penalty flag here with 9:03 to play in this opening quarter. But, yeah, a lot of motion, a lot of just get your playmakers in space and get a first down. Work the sticks. Keep it simple. So 1st and 10 here about midway through the opening quarter. 1st and 10 for the Miners from San Francisco. Officially from midfield from the 50. Handoff. And number 22, Jeffrey Wilson. As San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan. Okay, they drafted Trey Sermon. Middle of the draft this past April. Be sure to go check out my NFL Draft and Pro Football Hall of Fame vlogger here on the channel as well. It's since he has taken over, even you go back to their Super Bowl run before they lost to the Chiefs in Super Bowl 54 a year and a half ago, which that seems like forever ago, but it's not even 2 years. That's a false start. Penalty flags flying. 2-yard run. They'll replay the down though. It's always been by committee, and we're going to run who's fresh, who's hot, and, who's picking up yards. But then who's not playing, well, we're going to still try to get you involved too, if we can. And it keeps the defense on their heels. It does. And especially with as good as this Ram defense is, along with the offense as a whole, too, and then you add in Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. on top of it, like, as mentioned, arguably, how good could the Rams be? They're 7-2. Another early start, but they let it slide. So some movement on 2nd and 1, but no back-to-back false starts. It'll be 3rd and short here. 7:07 to play in this first quarter. And they're going to go hurry up, sneak it up the middle, first down, San Francisco. And then some pushing and shoving late. As potentially this game could get chippy. For myself growing up, it's always been the St. Louis Rams and San Francisco 49ers. But now LA's had the Rams back now for about 5 years. Chargers headed north a short time later. And, now they have a new stadium, hosting the Super Bowl. Both are playing some damn good football, but at the same time, as I always say, it's not decided on paper, it's decided on the field. So we'll see how this game plays out. It'll be interesting to say the least. I mean, honestly, as LA is favored by about 3.5, 4 points, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said earlier, San Francisco needs a win bad to get to 4-5. They, especially playing at home, might be able to get it. 2nd and 10 for the Niners, though. Over the middle, it's caught. And Kyle Juszczyk gets to 34 on a pick of a 5, maybe 6. So 3rd and medium, 5.5 to play in this first. But expecting it to be, an average score, not necessarily low scoring. I mean, the Rams had a decent drive going there, of course, before the interception. San Francisco's trying to capitalize now on some points, but it's going to be a little slow here early, I'd say. It'll pick up, though, in the second half. We'll have some scoring late. Kittle over the middle, 1st and 10. 8-yard reception for him. A couple catches for him on this drive as well. I think the Rams in the end are going to find a way to win because arguably they're just a little bit better. And they've already gone on the road in the division in prime time and won this year as well. Game, of course, I'm speaking of is about a month ago, the night Russell Wilson went down with an injury before he returned yesterday at Green Bay in the snow from Lambeau against Rodgers and the Pack before getting shut out for the first time in his career, and the Seahawks being shut out for the first time in 10 years. Samuel on an 8, maybe 9-yard run. Looks like he stepped out. He's second and short. The Rams went to Seattle early October, now here mid-November on the road in San Francisco, looking for another road win. They should, win a few more games, as hopefully everyone will by the end of the year. But with as top-heavy as the NFC is at the top of the playoff leaderboard right now, they'll probably get a home playoff game. Will they get a first-round bye, though, as the number 1 seed? I don't know. Of course, still a lot of football left to be played, so it'll work itself out, of course. But what I'm getting at is arguably LA, just as Tampa did last year, could, and Tampa, hell, had to go on the road whole entire playoff run, wild card, divisional, and conference championship game, as well, defeating Washington, New Orleans, and Green Bay before beating Kansas City at home in the Super Bowl down at Raymond James Stadium this past February. Maybe LA has to do the same thing, but the Super Bowl's in LA come February 13th, Valentine's Day weekend. 1st and 10, another toss. Kyle Shanahan with a lot of tosses on this opening drive for Jimmy G to toss it far and near side to whoever the hell is in at running back. And they're picking up yardage. They're moving the football downfield, and credit to San Francisco here on offense. But the Rams have showed me to this point in time they can win wherever the game is being played at. Home, away, neutral site. But a neutral site Super Bowl for them would be a home game because it's their own home damn stadium, for God's sake. So that's 2 months from now. Tonight, though, on Monday night, they're on the road in San Francisco, and the 49ers are trying to capitalize off an interception. So unless they get a stop here, maybe force them to settle for 3, the Rams on the road here early on are going to be in an early hole, it seems like. They're working the motion. They're running a lot of tosses. It's back to the basics. It's still, you have to be able to run the football, no doubt about it. But and I get with both sides of the story with what I just said, and it's all going to factor in at some point in time. But for the most part, as I always say, you have to be able to run the football. Empty set 5 wide, Garoppolo in the end zone, caught, touchdown, George Kittle, 3rd time's a charm, his 3rd catch on this drive is for 6. And the 49ers strike first. They strike gold for a touchdown with 1:54 to play in this opening quarter, and they lead it by 6, pending the upcoming extra point.
This is a great read from Jimmy Garoppolo. You're going to see this safety come down, this one go back, and that opens up this hole right here for George Kittle. And running through the zone, you got to put that ball right on him before the corner comes off. And a great catch from George Kittle. What a drive.
The Iron Kittle, as he's been battling injuries this year as well. The Lock Haven native and Robbie Gould, his extra point up and good. 49ers 7-0 with 1:54 to play in the opening quarter at home here tonight on Monday Night Football against the Los Angeles Rams. Hard to believe we're already here at the end of the first quarter. Absolutely flying by again this first half as it did yesterday for the game I covered with Detroit and Pittsburgh. But here in the end, as San Francisco will also get the ball to begin the second half at that end for the time being. Rams had a decent drive going. They did. And then Stafford went deep, picked off, and then a 95-yard touchdown drive for 6. That's pretty damn good, especially early on. Because then if one of these two teams, more so than not, because the 49ers just did it, if they have to do it again, well, you look back at this now, then, and say, well, they did it then, they should be able to do it now, but we'll see how the game plays out. I mean, I would say, the Rams are going to have to hunker down on defense, no doubt about it. the Niners are going to have to continue to play good on offense. Maybe even, get some more turnovers, make Stafford make a few more mistakes on offense, get the ball back with some turnovers, just some big stops, stop the running game. And then you circle back to the running game as well when you need to run the football late, especially with a lead at home late in the game. If they can run the football as they did on this opening drive, San Francisco is going to be sitting pretty, I'd say. But, we're not even a full 15 in. There's still a lot of football left to be played, so of course we'll see what gives. I'm sure as always something will. But a fast-pacing first quarter, to say the least. As pull up some stats and also take a look here at WWE Monday Night Raw, see what's cooking before Survivor Series with the lackluster build that has been. Really not that excited to watch next week, and as mentioned, I'll watch that on a delay next Monday with Monday Night Football and Monday Night Raw a week from now as well. So, we'll see what happens in the meantime. But Stafford, he's 2 for 3, 7 yards, has that interception that the 49ers just capitalized on. 90-plus yard drive, and then 7 on a Garoppolo passing touchdown to George the Iron Kittle. And Jimmy G's perfect, 5 for 5, 38 yards passing that touchdown. Deebo Samuel on a few runs has 3 carries for 24 yards rushing. Jeff Wilson 3 for 15 on the ground out of the backfield as well. And then, Kittle leads the way, 3 for 33 and a score. So 1st and 10 for LA again here after a touchback from the 25. Going to have trips top of your screen right to left across your television screen ready on audio dial. And once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. The screen near side to Henderson. And he's going to get 5, maybe 5.5, 6 up past the 30. 2nd down and medium here for the Rams. And a late penalty flag comes flying in as well. So we'll see what the dirty laundry is from the Zebras. And it looks like it's going to be against LA. I don't know what the penalty would be, but it looks like it's going to be against the Rams, if I'd have to guess. Got a personal foul, unnecessary roughness against LA. 15 yards from the end of the run, they'll replay 1st down. And that's on the former Bengal. Big, bald son of a bitch at left tackle, Andrew Whitworth. You play on. You forget about it. It's still early. Just move on. So 1st and from the Roosevelt Hotel in LA up to San Francisco to go. Out past the 20 to 24 on a reception to Cooper Kupp. And with a minute to play here in the 1st, LA is going to have a 2nd down. 2nd and about 11. Stafford out of the gun, empty set. Down the middle again, a little too high, and it's almost picked off. What the hell is Matthew Stafford doing here early? Just poor decision-making by Matthew Stafford. I mean, it, once again, wasn't a bad play call. It's just, what the hell is he doing with the football? So 3rd down and long, under a minute to play here. They're going to bubble screen, and it's going to be dropped. Actually picked off again, and the Niners are going to return it for a touchdown. And they now lead by 2 scores. And they capitalized off of 2 Matthew Stafford interceptions in this opening quarter. What a start by San Francisco here tonight. And now LA's even in a bigger hole now, and we'll see how they claw their way out. No deflection by Boza, but then Higbee bobbled it, and then it was picked off, and the interception's returned for a touchdown. And here comes Robbie Gould once again for another 49er extra point to take an early 14-0 49er lead with 49 seconds to play in this opening quarter. The Niners couldn't have asked for a better start. The Rams are deep in the hole right now as they'll take a commercial break. It's like, what the hell are you doing? That wasn't on him. That was on Higbee. So the 2 interceptions, there's still 2 interceptions in the end, but that one wasn't his fault compared to the one that was earlier to begin the game. But in the meantime, like I said, they're still both interceptions. They're both turnovers. And on the second, they return it for 6. So they capitalize off of both with 2 touchdowns, and it's 14-0. You know, it looked like Jimmy Ward was going to go down on the return as he stumbled, but fell into the end zone. So a touchdown, and they kicked the extra point 14-0. You know, if the Rams at least would have made a stop, on about a 25-yard interception return for 6, you know, maybe on defense you can hold them to 3, and now you're only down 10, but you go up to pick 6, and now you're down 14. So, yeah, just not a good start by any means whatsoever here early on for the Los Angeles Rams at the 49ers this evening on Monday Night Football as we're near the end of the first quarter. So stats are going to be the same, other than, you know, Stafford now going to have 2 interceptions in the box score and then a Niner defensive touchdown. So they're going to have to figure something out on offense. I don't know what, to be exact, other than just it's still early. Just honestly, I'd stick to my game plan. I wouldn't change anything yet. I wouldn't. I'd run what I'm going to run, and, you know, you go from there. So, yeah, we'll see how LA does, or what they do here as we return to action. So, yeah, until they move the ball, until they actually do something, see what they do. They're down by 2 scores, double digits, return from the 8 and to the 25. So all 3 drives started at the 25-yard line. But the first 2 ended with turnovers and capitalization by the 49ers with 2 touchdowns. The last, of course, being a defensive score on a pick 6. So, you know, yeah, just if I'm a Ram fan, if I'm the LA Rams in general, I'm just like, what the hell? Like, come on. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, this is not what the Rams have done all season. But there's always that one game that it's like, you're just going to get your ass beat. And maybe that's tonight for them. I have no idea. We'll have to see how this plays out. You know, last week, as they showed the Sunday Night Football Ram highlight from SoFi last Sunday night at home against the Titans, they got also down early against Tennessee, who's arguably one of the best, if not the best team in all the NFL right now. You know, it was a little too late for them to come back and ended up losing. Now 7-2 on the road here in prime time again. Roll out on a play action. Stafford looking to throw. It's going to be caught by Jefferson at the 46, 1st and 10 as we hit the end of the first quarter. So that does it for the first quarter. 14-0. San Francisco leading the LA Rams here tonight on Monday Night Football. Following 2 interceptions and 2 capitalization touchdowns in response for San Francisco to lead by 2 scores, 14-0 here at the end of one. So once again, thank you for tuning in and listening. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Go and Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. The thumbs up button. Share, hashtag NFL, hashtag Rams, hashtag 49ers, hashtag Monday Night Football. The 49ers were ready for some football tonight, no doubt about it. They came to play. The Rams, on the other hand, it's like, what the hell are you doing? Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, always greatly appreciated as well. So, yeah, when LA's, at least tonight and last week, got down to an early deficit, they've stuck to, for the most part, their game plan. That's what I would do moving ahead until if it gets worse, really out of hand at that point in time. Okay, yeah, something's got to change. But still early, still a lot of football left to be played. Still at halftime, 2 2-minute warnings, all your timeouts. You just need a few stops on defense, really. Just need to make some plays in general across the board. And as mentioned, you know, potentially special teams once again tonight playing a factor in Monday Night Football, as it did last week with the Bears and Steelers, with Pittsburgh winning on a game-winning field goal 29-27 over Chicago, who was off this week. And, you know, we'll get more into, as always, at halftime, first half stats and scores. Take a look around what happened in the NFL this past weekend, preview next week. You know, who was on a bye, who wasn't, etc. We'll also discuss some college football, recapping this past Saturday, along with a preview to next week as well. As I'll have, as mentioned earlier, schedule is as follows. Live watch line reactions this upcoming Saturday, November the 20th, in college football with Rutgers and Penn State. So hopefully you'll tune in and listen. And then a doubleheader next Sunday in the NFL with Cowboys, Chiefs, along with Steelers, Chargers, WWE Survivor Series, also this upcoming Sunday. But I'll watch that on a delay next Monday night, a week from now, with Monday Night Football. It'll be the Giants and Buccaneers with WWE Monday Night Raw, as well as they'll move into the new year for the new WWE Day 1 pay-per-view on January the 1st. With the holidays right around the corner, Thanksgiving a week from Thursday, Christmas month from then. Here tonight, though, on the 15th of November, on Monday Night Football, got a 1st and 10 as we begin the second quarter. Ram football down 14, and a pass complete to Kupp, and he's going to get out of bounds around the 25-yard line. Big pickup. Simple wheel route down the far sideline. Some busted coverage by San Francisco, and he was able to get open, and Stafford got him the football and some yak yards for 10. And to the 10-yard line, it's complete from 9 to 3. We'll see if they work a full 8, though, working 9 to 5. Maybe put up 7 here on this drive and cut the lead. Odell Beckham Jr. on a reception. Once again, another simple out route to the far side. And it's complete for a big Ram first down. Move the sticks. Keep it simple. Balance and consistency. Work the run game into it as well. 1st and 10 Rams from the 11. Few plays in the red zone, knocking on the door, looking to cut this lead. Minute into the second quarter now. Handoff. And about a yard or so for the former dog, Sony Michel. Former Patriot, who is a little bit surprisingly traded from New England, but at the same time, the Patriots are still going to play New England Patriot football the Patriot way, as he's now in LA. You play with who you have. The Rams had to make a move. They lost Cam Akers, as mentioned, to an injury for the season. 2nd and 9 from the 10. Stafford back of the end zone, a little too high, and incomplete 3rd down. And, Stafford, from what I've been able to tell here on a few passes, and, the deep ball, okay. Him and Beckham trying to sync up. That was picked off. The other one, a little too high. That pass, a little too high, incomplete. I don't know if wind's playing a factor by any means, or if he's just, when he's getting rid of the football with his release, he's just sailing it. Like, he's just not playing good right now at quarterback. But it's still early, so until you work out the kinks, this is how it'll be. Caught at the goal line. Was he in? They say caught, touchdown. Tyler Higbee makes up for the bobble on the last interception. It was returned for a touchdown for San Francisco, and now the Rams cut the lead to 8 pending the upcoming extra point. So currently 14-6 here. So hell, as mentioned earlier, expecting, an average score, slow and steady wins the race for now. But then, that was when we were still tied at 0 on the Niner first drive after the first interception. Of course, up 14 now by a touchdown again. Hell, this game might, turn into a shootout, high-scoring affair, and then it's going to be coming down at that point in time, you'd have to say, late on what defense is going to bend but doesn't break. And then back to who's able to protect their quarterback, because this game is going to be one up front in the trenches with as good as these defensive lines are. So, for the time being, both offensive lines are playing damn good, protecting both Stafford and Garoppolo, who both now have a touchdown apiece, as Jimmy G's was to Kittle, and Stafford's was to Higbee. So both tight ends getting worked in. So it might be another tight end game here tonight on Monday Night Football, just as it was last week as well, with Pat Fryermuth, along with Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham, and Jesse James. So, once again, we'll see what it gives. This, arguably, the way the game's going right now, to be honest with you, could get even more interesting than what it already is, and could come down to the wire. The Niners have been in a few home primetime games this year. And when they hosted Green Bay, Rodgers 2 plays, got in field goal range, and Crosby kicked a game-winning field goal. They lost that. They lost to the Colts late October in the monsoon that it was that night, the atmospheric river, as they called it, that was moving across the Pacific Ocean to the West Coast here in the States, and then all that week across the whole entire country as a whole. So maybe third time's a charm for the 49ers tonight. It's the third time a charm for Kittle on their opening drive. Third catch was a touchdown. And then they scored a couple plays later on the pick six. And then, not necessarily getting a little too far ahead of themselves, but the Rams, they make up for their 2 picks. They make it look easy on their last drive, and they cut the lead. So, both defenses, I know I said just a minute ago, the Rams D is going to have to hunker down. 49ers, they're going to have to do the same. It's going to come down to up front and on defensive formations with what defense is going to bend but doesn't break. Explosive plays, who's not going to allow that, etc. So, we'll see. Nice return out past the 25, 30, 35 to the 37 for San Francisco. But a late flag, will probably be coming back for a hold or a legal block in the back if I'd have to guess. During the return, holding 10 yards from the end of the run, first down. Yep. Probably a good call. If it's a penalty, call it. If it's not, don't. Let him play. Unless you pick it up, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to live with it and you move on and you continue to play. Okay, Mitchell on a run up the middle for about 9. A Ram defender, I don't know what the hell he just threw at him. It looked like a towel that maybe fell off. I'm surprised the refs didn't see that and say taunting, knowing that role as of late. That's just absolutely pathetic. It's like, I don't know how the hell that got approved, but it did. But now 2nd and 1. No gain on the play, stuff the line of scrimmage. I'll digress on that situation, but yeah. Like, if it's a penalty, call it. If not, don't let him play. And unless the refs pick it up, you just got to move on. Just don't commit, any more as the game goes on. So 3rd down and 2, they're going to work out of the eye. And that's an offside. That's a free 5 yards. They got a free play. Nowhere to go, but it's first down for the Niners because the Rams jumped off sides. So the penalties, for the time being, are even themselves out. Here, 11:48 to play in this first half. So the hard count by Jimmy G. More of a silent count because I didn't hear a damn word being said or yelled by any means. And yeah, the motion and the running game by San Francisco right now is working in their favor. It's allowing them to continue to do what they do best and just chip away at it, move the football. And, of course, you hope for the best, and you work the sticks. And with a lead, you run the football. So 2nd down.
Yeah, they said when you see him in person, he's not imposing, but his lower body, you can see it right here on the screen in the huddle. Big hamstrings, big calves, great center of gravity, good balance, and he's got home run speed. Look, we've seen big bats. We've seen Jonathan Taylor already this year. Once he gets out in the open, he can take it the distance. Well, Elijah's 4'3". So if he gets in the open field, it could be a tough task to track him down. 2nd and 9.
Garoppolo looking near side. Over the middle he throws. And Kittle, George Kittle, having a big night here early on. 10-yard reception as he nears 50 receiving yards here in this first half. Lowers his shoulder, gets enough for a first down. And just continue to move the football. There's been some talk that, potentially could San Francisco move on from Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he would be one that, if they would fire him, that regardless how they have been playing or will continue to play the rest of the year, be a bit of a surprise compared to the rest of the league. Because just a year ago, they went to the Super Bowl. And then last year, they were banged up more than, I think, any NFL team has been as of late. A ton of injuries. They played well early, but then they just kept getting hit by the injury bug. And the season got away from them. Hell, this time last year, right around the holidays, right before Christmas, into the new year, hell, they weren't even allowed to play in their own home stadium, for God's sakes. They had to play a home game on the road in Arizona. And, of course, you had the Cardinals also still playing there at home. And, yeah, it just wasn't their season last year after, of course, going to the Super Bowl the year prior. And arguably probably should have won that game before Mahomes and the Chiefs came back and won it. And then the Bucs won it this past year. So, I mean, at least we've had a different Super Bowl champion, even though it still seems like that Tom Brady has rolled the NFL for the past 20 years, which technically he has to an extent. But, I mean, you go back through the years, because I was just thinking about this the other day, and that's why I bring it up, to tie it in here, with, of course, LA hosting Super Bowl and the Rams on the road tonight Monday Night Football as well. So there's one more tidbit for you, even though I know I've already said it. But like last year, you had the Bucs. The year before was the Chiefs. The year prior to that, it was Brady, but it was with New England. And then it was Philly. Okay, the Patriots again, but that's not, back-to-back as they've done a few times. Over the middle, complete to Samuel, and he gets to the 44, and another big first down for the Niners with about 8 minutes to play in this first half. Both teams, all 3 timeouts remaining. 2-minute warning to come as well. But really, we all know Super Bowl 51 with Kyle Shanahan as the Falcon offensive coordinator before they blew a 28-3 lead. The Falcons should have won that Super Bowl, and then we had that Super Bowl rematch yesterday with the Cowboys winning 43-3. 50 in Levi Stadium, the Broncos with Von Miller, Peyton Manning's last game before he was elected to the Hall of Fame this past year, beat Cam Newton and the Panthers, and now Cam, after being released by Carolina last offseason, played last year in New England, was cut by the Pats back in the preseason. In final cuts, he's now backing Charlotte with the Carolina Panthers and had 2 touchdowns yesterday. So, and hell, I mean, you even go back to that, before that, I should say, 49, okay, was New England. 48 was Seattle. They should have won back-to-back Super Bowls, but of course they didn't give Marshawn Lynch football at the 1-yard line. Jimmy Garoppolo hands off on that play, and they get a yard. Second down. 47 was Baltimore over the Niners. I mean, hell, the Niners have been to 2 Super Bowls the past 10 years and lost both of them. I mean, that's consistency. As not necessarily bad as they are right now, but still hanging in there. Steady with the pack. Of course, the 49ers aren't what they were when Montana and Young were playing by any means. Slain over the middle, caught, big first down by San Francisco, and a few missed tackles. And the former Sun Devil and Brandon Ayuk gets a big 49er first down. 1, 2, and then 3 missed tackles by the Rams are on that short, simple slant pass over the middle. And if he would have broken that last one, he'd be in the end zone right now celebrating. We'd have another extra point by Robbie Gould, and the Niners will be back up 2 scores again at 21-7. So first and goal, handoff, and Samuel out of the backfield will score. A wide receiver with a rushing touchdown as he celebrates. So one play later, after Ayuk breaks a few tackles and gets him inside the 10, Deebo Samuel an 8-yard rushing touchdown, and the Niners strike gold for 6 once again. Touchdown, San Francisco on top now, 20-7, pending the upcoming extra point. So, I mean, if this keeps up the rest of the way, we're trading shots, and then in the end, I would think the big story is going to be, You know, even more so than not, if the Rams get blown out tonight, if this keeps up as well, and they don't do anything, then that, okay, what the hell is wrong with them? You know, are they all right? Are they going to be able to rebound off of this? Well, I'll say this, it's just one game. So, they're division rivals. Everybody in every division around the NFL, you have to play each other twice. Sometimes 3 times if you meet in the playoffs. And with the NFC West, I mean, back at the beginning of the season, you know, I did say, and you can go check it out if you don't believe me. I remember saying the 2 best divisions in the NFL at that point in time, and still a point in time, at right now, the halfway point, it's the AFC West and the NFC West. Now, of course, you know, Russell Wilson's back for the Seahawks, but the Hawks got shut off for the first time in 10 years. You know, they're hanging in there along with the Niners. But only 3 wins, you know, here week 10, even with bye weeks. Like, it's going to be a little hard for a few of these teams that don't have a few wins at this point in time to potentially make a run and get back into it late and make a run then. Because for the most part, normally whoever's hot late in the year is going to make a run in the playoffs and win some football games for their respective franchise. But, I mean, it's Arizona, it's LA, and then it's, you know, San Francisco and Seattle, but, and the 49ers must win, with that included too, because if they win, they'll jump a game ahead of the Seahawks. But at the same time, the Rams, I mean, they could afford to lose, to be honest with you, because the Cardinals lost yesterday too, but then they'd still be a game back. But like I said, everybody's going to be playing each other anyway. But then, I mean, hell, you go to the AFC West. You know, Kansas City put on a show last night in Vegas against the Silver and Black Raiders, winning 41-14. You know, it's very close in the AFC West, more so than not, than the NFC West, comparing the 2 divisions. Because you have the Chiefs on a 3-game winning streak. They're hot right now, after they were like, what the hell are you doing a couple weeks ago? And then also, you know, okay, Broncos lost yesterday, so they get some help. They beat the Raiders, but then you still have the Chargers, but then they lost yesterday too. So everybody, for the most part, has 5-6 wins. But I'll back to what I've said a few times tonight, as I've been saying now the past few weeks, because it's still early. As I always, for the most part, always say this time of year, there's still a lot of football to be played. You know, I mean, you look at the Patriots, they're 6-4. Everybody counted them out after Brady left. I mean, they played some damn good football last year with Cam Newton. Didn't make the playoffs for the first time in years, but, you know, now I got a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones, and they're playing their best football right now. They are. But at the same point in time, that's just how, you know, they operate. And that's how really everybody, for the most part, should operate to an extent. I get everybody's different, no doubt about it, but you want to be playing your best football in November and December after the halfway point if you're going to make a run and do something in the playoffs and potentially get to the promised land and hoist that Lombardi high in the air come February. So, meantime, 1st and 10, 5:19 to play in this first half. Stafford going to hand off, and Henderson going to get 4 yards, 3-4 yards if he's lucky. 2nd down and 7. So, yeah, that's where we stand at. As for the most part, I would say this is a big surprise to a lot of people right now. You know, okay, Beckham has 2 receptions, 2 big first downs. The turnovers are killing him. They are. 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. If they don't have those, if they want to turn the ball over, and the Niners just drove and scored for the first time, we'd have a tie game right now, 7 apiece, with 4.5 to play before half. So, turnovers along with penalties, and they've had a few of those tonight as well. Penalties and turnovers absolutely kill you. They kill you. So, just got to fix their own damn mistakes. It can't be from within. You have to take care of your own business first before you worry about what else is going on. So we'll see if they can regroup and try to cut this lead again. 1st and 10, pass complete. Jefferson moving his way to the 35-yard line. And another big first down for the LA Rams. Explosive plays. They'll work the run game back into it as well. And from how this game is going, nobody wants to play defense right now. It's going to turn into a shootout. Before, hopefully, I would hope, in the second half, both teams, especially both defenses, to settle down and settle in. And at that point in time, make some plays, get some stops. You know, what defense, as mentioned, is going to bend but doesn't break. So until then, with about 3 minutes and 3 seconds to play in this first half, second down for LA from right on the outside of the red zone. 2nd and 5 officially. Cooper Kupp going to be in motion. Fake the end around to him. Hand off to Henderson, and he's going to break one inside the 20 for a big 10-plus yard run. 1st and 10 for Law. That is L.A., Los Angeles. They are located in California, if you did not know. Yeah, a little misdirection up the middle, and Henderson able to get another Ram first down. And it's, at this point in time, with Kupp in motion once again near side from the 19, 1st and 10. See if they snap before the 2-minute warning or not. Try to draw them off sides. Another motion man, no. 2-minute warning. Then they snap it, but timeout, of course, here with 2 minutes to play. 2-minute warning. Ram football, down 14, 1st and 10 from the 19. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts remaining as well. So, see if the 49ers can get a stop on defense. Hold, force field goal maybe. But it's really right now, other than that defensive touchdown on the pick 6, neither of these defenses really want to play right now. And for the most part, the running game's there for both teams, able to move it. And both quarterbacks are making plays. You look at Stafford, he's 11 of 15 for a $135 already with a touchdown, but he does have those 2 interceptions, and the turnovers are right now killing him. Because if the Niners don't have those 2 interceptions off of Matthew Stafford with the 2 touchdowns they capitalized with, we're tied at 7 with 2 minutes to play with the Rams knocking on the door, looking to take a halftime lead on the road here tonight on Monday Night Football. But in the meantime, because they have those 2 interceptions, they trail by 14 right now, trying to cut the lead again, but then they're going to have to even hunker down even more on defense once the 49ers get the ball back and make another stop. Maybe the clock runs out on them. Okay, they luck out, but the Niners are still going to get the ball to begin the second half, so they'll have to make a stop then as well. So, if LA, scores now to cut it, hell, San Francisco could still double down and score, whether it be 2 touchdowns, a touchdown, a field goal, or 2 field goals, hell, maybe even nothing. They could really break this game open early second half if they really want to. I would hope to God they would want to, by all means necessary, but at the same time, it's really first, before what defense bends but doesn't break, what defense is going to start making stops first. And then, you go from there and it works itself out. So, LA's going to have to score some points right now, if you'd have to ask me. Because with 2 minutes and 3 timeouts, hell, that's an eternity. And the way both teams have been able to move the football, making it look easy tonight. It's like, until these defenses start playing, there's going to be a ton of points scored. There is. But defense still wins you championships. So, until then, we'll play with 2 minutes to play here in the first half. 1st and 10 officially from the 19. Empty set with the trips in a bunch top of your screen for LA before Henderson motions back into the backfield now to the right of number 9, Matthew Stafford. And he'll hand off to 27 again. And a 4 or 5 yard run up the middle. So run the football, work the clock as well. Maybe just score. Make sure you give the ball back to them with no time remaining. Get a stop on defense early after you cut the lead here. Potentially. What the hell? The center didn't even snap the football. So an illegal snap. And penalty flag. So they'll replay the down. Be second down and 10. No, but if they score, give them no time. Even with timeouts to do anything, make a stop early in the second half, score then once they get the ball back. Hell, whole new ball game then at that point, tied up at 21 potentially. If not, they don't cut it. But yeah, but the Rams have 3 timeouts, Steve Levy. If they have a 10-second runoff, they're going to have the option to call a timeout. So see what the penalty is. It's going to be an illegal snap because the center snapped it, but the ball didn't even go anywhere. And then he, recovered it as if he was going to pick it up and run with it. But they say in the end, false start rather than illegal snap. And then we'll give the 10-second runoff, and LA doesn't elect to call a timeout, so they'll have a minute 25 with 3 timeouts, which is still a whole hell of a lot of time. So 2nd and 11 officially after the 5-yard false start. Clock's rolling again from the 20, 2nd down. Empty set, 5 wide. Stafford going to dump it off on a tight end screen to Higbee, and he has nowhere to go. Loses a few yards actually in the backfield. Big defensive stop there by San Fran. And yeah, you work this clock now. 3rd and long, probably run another screen, draw up the middle, play it safe. About a 25-second differential between the play clock and game clock. And if you have to settle for 3, kick the field goal, okay, so be it. Take the points. Especially the way you played this half, be down 11, still double digits, but at least you cut the lead again. And it's a whole new ball game in the second half. 3rd and 13, Stafford dumps it off on a screen to Henderson. And, yeah, to stay in bounds, make San Francisco call timeout if they're going to call timeout, which Kyle Shanahan does. So 4th down from the 18, it looks like. As there are 13 seconds remaining, San Francisco timeout. I'm sure they'll add about 5-7 seconds back onto the clock. So from here, it's going to be about a 35-yard field goal, I'd say, for the Los Angeles Rams to cut this lead. I mean, San Francisco can luck out even more if they end up blocking it or it's missed. So they add 5 seconds back on the clock. 18 seconds to play. 4th and 8 for the Rams, and they'll attempt their first field goal of the afternoon here tonight on Monday Night Football. And Matt Gay trying to kick it straight through the uprights from 35 yards out. And they run a fake field goal. Hecker throws it on 4th and 8, but nowhere for the tight end to go. I believe that was Gerald Everett, the former. That's a big stop. So they run a fake field goal. That was a late decision for Hecker to decide, well, That's perfectly executed, though. As who caught it? Okay. I don't know why I was thinking Gerald Everett. He's a former Ram. That's where I was going to go with that. He's now in Seattle with the Seahawks. So, special teams. Hecker on a fake field goal. Pass complete to Kendall Blanton, but nowhere for him to go. He's brought down right away. Turnover and downs. Thing is, take a break here. Niners, 2 timeouts, about 10 seconds or so. In the end, they'll probably just end up taking a knee, playing it safe. I mean, you could chuck it. Play the hook and ladder game maybe. But you have a 2-touchdown lead, and you're going to get the ball to begin the second half. I get you want to try to capitalize off this now, but going into halftime and coming out of the second half, coming out of the second quarter in the second half, they're still going to have the momentum. They'll have the rhythm synced up unless they just, during halftime, fuck off and, forget how to play football then, and then it's tail of 2 halves, and then the Rams come back and win it or make it a game late. I don't mind the fake field goal there by Sean McVay. That was actually a decent play call. Unexpected. Catch him off guard. He dumped it off to the tight end in the flat. If he would have waited another second or so on a post towards the end zone, it looked like he might have had somebody open as well if they would have been able to beat their man. But, what was it? 4th and 5, if I'm not mistaken. But then, on a field goal, from where the ball spotted to where it snapped to kicked, but then you're on the fake and you roll out, you're going to be about the same yardage, I'd say, on a quarterback rollout on a play action, but just a little further on back, and it just, doesn't work out for LA, and they are brought down to 15, so nowhere near the first down marker. And okay, we come back out of break, and the Niners take a knee, and we hit halftime here tonight on Monday Night Football with the 49ers leading the Rams 21-7. As mentioned, San Francisco going to get the ball to begin the second half as well. And we end the first half on a fake field goal that went nowhere for LA. Stuffed. Rams make another stop, and they hold on to their 2-touchdown lead. So it's still 21-7 rather than a 21-14, 21-10 game that really for that latter part of it should be with the field goal, but they're on the fake. They don't get it. So we sit at 21-7 with Matthew Stafford being 13 of 17 for $138, a touchdown, and once again, back to the 2 interceptions. The turnovers are killing LA right now. They don't have those. We're tied at 7 here at halftime. And about an hour first half, not even. This Monday Night Football game tonight has absolutely flown by, and we'll get back to the third quarter of play here in about 10-15 minutes or so. Stay tuned. But Jimmy Garoppolo, in the meantime, still perfect. He is 8 of 8 for 89 yards passing and a touchdown. Both tight ends in Kittle and Higbee have receiving touchdowns this evening. And both teams able to run the football, as Henderson has 4 carries for 28 yards rushing. And Deebo Samuel, 4 for 32 and a score. Jeff Wilson, 5 for 23. Elijah Mitchell, 11 carries for 33 yards rushing. That is balance. Balance and consistency. Open up the play action, play good defense, rely on your special teams, and for the most part, 95% of the time, that's how you'll end up winning the game. And then receiving in Odell Beckham Jr.'s Ram debut, as he's having more of an impact than Von Miller is. Miller really hasn't done anything whatsoever on the Rams defense. Hell, he was getting auctioned there on the sideline when they panned to him a minute ago. But, they're both no longer with their former squads. They're both in LA now with the Rams, and they're playing. They're both active tonight, making their debuts. But Beckham, as Miller hasn't done jack shit, he has 2 catches for 18 yards, both first downs. And then Cooper Kupp has 4 catches for 44 yards receiving. Henderson on the backfield, 2 for 11 in the screen game. But Van Jefferson leads LA receiving right now with 2 catches for 49 yards. And then on San Francisco side of things, Samuel, who has a touchdown in the run game, has a catch for 20 yards. And then Brandon Ayuk also has 2 catches for 20 yards. But then Kittle, 4 for 43 in a score. And then defense. The 49ers have a defensive touchdown, a pick 6 off of Stafford, a drive after they capitalized with another Stafford interception and drove 90-plus yards for 6 to strike first. And, of course, then tacking another touchdown on top of it with that Samuel rushing touchdown. So Garoppolo, the passing touchdown to Kittle, the pick 6 at 14-0. The Rams cut it to 14-7 with the Stafford passing touchdown to Tyler Higbee, and then the Samuel rushing touchdown. So 21-7 is where we stand here at halftime on Monday Night Football, with the 49ers leading the LA Rams by 2 scores at 14 points. 21-7 is your halftime score. However, yesterday in the National Football League, this Week 10 before the Patriots and Falcons and their Super Bowl rematch kicks off Week 11 this upcoming Thursday, and we'll preview next week here in a minute, along with recapping college football from this past weekend, along with previewing next week as well. And hopefully you'll tune in for more live watch-along reactions live right here on YouTube of college football, the NFL, and professional wrestling as well. Beginning next week with college football, Rutgers, Penn State, with a doubleheader in the NFL. Next Sunday, Cowboys, Chiefs, Steelers, Chargers, and then watching and calling as I see fit live watch-along reactions over on YouTube with WWE Survivor Series on a tape delay next Monday during Monday Night Football and Monday Night Raw. So this week in the NFL, Week 10, as we sit at halftime, 21-7, 49ers leading the Rams. Week 10 began this past Thursday on Veterans Day night. Thank you once again to the United States military for keeping us safe. Land of the free, home of the brave. Thank you to, of course, anyone who has served or is currently serving. Thank you for your service. But the Dolphins upset the Ravens, as this upset week in the NFL has, for the most part, somewhat continued once again. But Miami, 22-10 winners on Thursday Night Football this past week against the Baltimore Ravens. As at halftime here, I'm sure we'll get Boomer's fastest 3 minutes coming up here shortly. But Tiger King 2 drops Wednesday. They're showing some highlights of the Manning cast from this first half with Al Michaels and Phil Mickelson joining as guests. And then in the second half, I'm trying to remember who the hell they had signed up for the third and fourth quarter. If anybody does in fact know, let me know in the comments below. I know they did not get, for certain, an active NFL player this week, because just as the Madden curse is still relevant, the Manning cast curse is in effect, because whoever goes on the Manning cast has lost the following week. So I guess players and teams don't want players to be going on, because whoever you are and whatever team you play on, for the most part, you're going to lose next week regardless of who you're playing. No, but they're showing some highlights of that. But then the Tom Brady documentary on ESPN Plus drops tomorrow as well. We'll see if they'll only release one episode at a time, or if, of course, you'll be able to binge it. But I know tomorrow for myself, I'm going to sit down and record my AEW Full Gear review and upload that at the latest some point in time later on this week, hoping for Wednesday though. So be sure to keep an eye out for that video for an AEW Full Gear recap with a new World Heavyweight Champion kicking some cowboy shit with Hangman Adam Page. So as always, we'll see what the future holds in college football, the NFL, and professional wrestling. Bowl season is upon us. Coach Carousel about to heat up. Keep an eye out for videos on both of those topics, along with, from what I'm thinking right now, planning on doing, especially with the expanded regular season here in the NFL this year and in years to come. I normally will do a Coach Carousel video on both college and NFL together. But as mentioned earlier, with as big potentially as a college football Coach Carousel is going to be, with a lot of big name programs potentially going to open up, we'll see how the final few weeks of the regular season closes out to be. But I'll probably end up splitting those two videos, so keep an eye out for a college football and NFL Coaching Carousel video at that point in time, along with, college football bowl game preview, just as it was last year, and then an NFL playoff preview come mid-January, about 2 months from now. And believe me, it'll be here before you know it. With Thanksgiving already a week from Thursday, Christmas a month from then. So hopefully, of course, you don't tune back in from now until then. Hopefully everybody has a happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas. Those videos, along with live streams continuing, whether it's audio only, hence the black screen, or an actual live stream with picture, be sure to keep an eye out for live watch-along reactions in college football, the NFL, and pro wrestling, along with videos dropping right here on the channel. All I have to do is hit that red subscribe button. The easiest way to stay up to date is, in fact, on social media. Links in the description below for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right here on YouTube. So be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description. Once more, thank you for tuning in and listening. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohen Luke 96. Thumbs up button, share, hashtag NFL, hashtag Rams, hashtag 49ers, as San Francisco leads LA by 14 here at halftime, 21-7. Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, always greatly appreciated as well. So once again, Week 10 in the NFL will wrap up here in a few short hours, but it began last Thursday with the Dolphins beating the Ravens 22-10. Yesterday in the NFL, as I had on Lions Steelers, which ended in a tie, the first NFL tie game since last September, and the first Steeler tie game at home since 2002, but the first tie game in general since week 1 of 2018. But no, we had Lions Steelers on, along with Browns Patriots, before we got switched in the blowout to New Orleans and Tennessee on TV2. And unfortunately, at least on paper, and I still wanted to, and I still did in the end, via a link with NFL Red Zone, watched Green Bay shut out and defeat Seattle 17-0. But on CBS in my area, for some unknown reason, because 95% of the time, always get the national game of the week, CBS Fox, at 4 o'clock, regardless of who's playing. But yeah, for some reason, yesterday got Philly and Denver, and the Eagles beat the Broncos. And then last night, Sunday Night Football, it was Kansas City on the road in the AFC West. So 2 primetime games here back-to-back with the AFC West and NFC West. And the away team last night in a blowout. Right now, the home team blowing out the visitors. But, yeah, Kansas City won last night 41-14. Coming out of halftime here about kick off the third and fourth quarters of play. San Francisco leads LA. The Rams, not the Chargers. They lost yesterday against the Vikings. Your score 21-7. So once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. But yesterday, the Cowboys beat the Falcons 43-3. Titans held on for their sixth straight win, defeating the Saints at home from LP Field, Nissan Stadium in Music City, 23-21. Indianapolis defeated Urban Meyer and the Jags in the same stadium. He won a few Big Ten championships in with Ohio State, but he's now in the NFL coaching. And the Colts win by 6 in the AFC South, 23-17. Patriots, along with the Bills, both in 45-point routes, 45-7 over Cleveland. New England won, and the Bills beat the Jets on the road in New Jersey as the lone true NFL team in the state of New York, beating the New York Jets, who play in New Jersey with the New York Football Giants as well. 45-7, your final score with the Patriots over the Browns, and the Bills beat the Jets 45-17. They'll play on Monday Night Football in a few short weeks on Monday night, December the 6th. I will, in fact, have live watch-along reactions live right here on YouTube. Then, as for the most part, I do, in fact, know my streaming schedule now, from now until the end of the season. I always, for the most part, you have to keep up on it. I always, preseason, go through and have a tentative schedule. And then, of course, as always, plans change. There's always a plan B, as we're in Indianapolis for Monday Night Raw, and back in June of 2014, there was a plan B in which Seth Rollins turned on the Shield, but I'll digress with wrestling. This game's going to get interesting, and we'll get more into WWE, and along with AEW and the rest of pro wrestling at some point in time later. But Survivor Series Sunday, next Monday, I'll watch on a delay for live watch on interaction, so be sure to tune in then. 1st and 10 from the 23, toss near side, and a 49er big first down run out past the 40. Also yesterday in the National Football League, as mentioned, the Lions and Steelers tied at 16. Washington defeated Tampa Bay 29-19. As mentioned yesterday, just imagine if that was the final score back in the playoffs. Tampa would have lost in the wildcard round on the road, and they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl this past February, but they split. That was then, this is now, and Washington picks up the win. Chase Young going to be done for the year now with a torn ACL. Taylor Heineke going to keep his starting job at quarterback with Ryan Fitzpatrick not returning from now until the end of the year. He just needs to hang it up and retire at this point. But, hell, he'll probably be on a new team next year for all we know. And then also yesterday, the Panthers and Cam Newton returned, defeated the Arizona Cardinals 34-10. Cam had 2 touchdowns, which, a return or debuting on a new team here as of late for a few players, for the most part, as of late, because normally it'll take, a few players on a few new teams some time to adjust and adapt. There's been, I would say, more of a bigger impact in that regard, I feel, than there probably ever has been, as of late at least, the past, 5-10 years. But, really that's just to an effect of, the NFL trade deadline suited up over the past 5 years. There's a lot of movement mid-season, compared to, what there normally would be. And, of course, with the expanded playoffs and, the biggest season in NFL history, the practice squads are bigger, and you have this player, that player. You play with who you have in the end. And you just hope to play good football, and you hope to win football games, because the name of the game is to, in fact, win, because that's all anybody ever remembers. So Jimmy Garoppolo goes down on a sack, 4th down for the Niners. They'll punt, and now here early in the second half, these defenses are going to start to settle in and get some stops, it seems like. Fair catch at the 19-yard line by LA, and it'll be a 1st and 10 for Stafford and the Rams from there when we return. So that'll be coming up next. As always, though, so thank you for tuning in and listening. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Coolman Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media, links in the description below. Also yesterday, in the National Football League, the Vikings beat the Chargers 27-20. Eagles with a 30-13 win at Denver. The Packers shut out the Seahawks in the snow 17-0. And then last night on Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs beat the Raiders 41-14. And then Week 11, as mentioned, will begin on Thursday following the conclusion of Week 10 tonight on Monday Night Football, with the Rams getting the football once we come out of this break for the first time in the second half, trailing by 14, 21-7, still your score here early third quarter, with a 3-and-out by San Fran to begin the second half. But it'll be Patriots-Falcons to kick off Week 11 on Thursday Night Football from the ATL. So Hot Atlanta going to get a little hotter with Super Bowl 51 rematch on Thursday night. In a game, arguably, the way the Falcons have been playing as of late, especially yesterday, New England should win once again. Get 7 wins before Thanksgiving. You know, really, who would have thought that other than the Patriots? If I'd have to guess, probably a whole hell of a lot of people, but that's why they play the games. Not side on paper, side on the field. Got a playoff rematch next Sunday as well. Colts, Bills, Ravens, Bears from Soldier Field. Have the Lions and Browns, along with the Texans and Titans. Packers, Vikings. Dolphins, Jets. Saints, Eagles. I know I'll probably get that game at 1 o'clock on Fox, trying to figure out what 1 o'clock CBS kick I'm going to get. Of course, with the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. I mean, if I'd have to guess, probably Indy and Buffalo, or Baltimore or Chicago. The Lions, if Baker Mayfield plays, okay, he plays, and they'll probably find a way to win late. He doesn't play, though, in case Keenum starts. Okay, they beat the Broncos with him on a Thursday night about a month or so ago now. The way the Lions played yesterday, and they should have a few wins to this point in time, and they should have won yesterday against Pittsburgh. As a Steelers fan, hate to say it, but it's true. You can go check out that live watch-along reaction stream from yesterday as well. I think the Lions are going to beat the Browns on Sunday. I do. So if I'd have to guess, because I'll have live watch-along reactions of Cowboys, Chiefs, along with Steelers, Chargers next Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. But for 1 o'clock kicks for myself, I bet you any money it'll be Colts, Bills, or Ravens, Bears on CBS, and then definitely probably Saints, Eagles on Fox at 1 o'clock. But, next week, on Thursday night, once again, it's Patriots, Falcons, and then on Sunday, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, we'll have the Colts and Bills, Ravens and Bears, Lions and Browns, Texans and Titans, Packers and Vikings, Dolphins and Jets, Saints and Eagles, along with the Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins, or whatever the hell their nickname will be in the years to come. They'll be in Carolina. That'll be the Ron Rivera and Cam Newton game. Of course, Rivera, the former Panther head coach, was let go. Matt Rule takes over. They get rid of Cam. He plays for the Pats last year. The Panthers didn't make the playoffs last year. Washington did. Lost to the Bucs in January. Just beat them yesterday. And now next Sunday, Washington at Carolina with Riverboat Ron back in his old stomping grounds with Cam Newton back at quarterback as they're prepping him to start at quarterback next Sunday. So that should be an interesting matchup, to say the least. Washington and Carolina. San Francisco will head to Jacksonville on a short week. The Rams are going to be off on a bye week next week, along with the Denver Broncos, as this week the Bears, Bengals, Giants, and Texans were all off. And to wrap up next week, after another punt, as this game, early third quarter, has now turned into a punt contest. 49ers are going to get it back, 1st and 10 when we return. As mentioned, next week it'll be San Francisco and Jacksonville. Trent Baalke, the GM of the Jags, taking on his former team. Of course, he was the GM under Jim Harbaugh. Now he's the GM in Jacksonville under Urban Meyer. And we have the game with Michigan and Ohio State in a few weeks to wrap up the regular season before the Big Ten championship game. So, a lot of storylines, to say the least, with these NFL and college football in general, just the matchups as a whole. So, yeah, San Fran, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, and Vegas will be an interesting game. Dallas and Kansas City. Arizona will head to the Emerald City of Seattle. And the Steelers will be out west in LA to take on the Chargers next Sunday night on Sunday Night Football. And then Giants-Bucks is your next week's Monday night matchup from Tampa Bay. Normally, next week on Monday Night Football would be the Mexico game. But, of course, we did not get that last year because of COVID. Aren't getting it again this year. That was always the Monday before Thanksgiving, and that's next week already. Hard to believe. But then a few days from then, that is Thanksgiving. We'll have 3 games that Thursday. Of course, with the Lions and Cowboys hosting the Bears and Raiders, respectively. And as thought yesterday, Buffalo and New Orleans on Thanksgiving night. So, arguably, the way all 6 of those teams are playing right now, all 3 games are going to be damn good on Thanksgiving, it seems like. I know I'll have live watch-along reactions of Vegas and Dallas for certain. We might catch a tail end of Chicago and Detroit. We'll see, but we'll, on Thanksgiving, have the silver and black and the star. But Bills Saints also later on that night. So halfway point here. Past it now. This NFL regular season, no doubt. Still a lot of football to be played, though. We'll see what the future holds. But as we come on a halftime here tonight on Monday Night Football, 21-7 still. 2 punts by both teams. And that's a false start. The hard count's working in favor of San Francisco, but now it's also starting to hurt them. So, that's clearly a movement as George Kittle with a big shit and costs his team 5 yards, 1st and 15.
We're going to miss him in Denver, but I know everybody in Broncos country thanks him for his time. The way that he went out, the respect that he paid to the town. I don't think there's anybody in Denver that has a bad thing to say about Von Miller leaving and the opportunity that he has here. And you could tell the emotion that it brought out in him and how he had to leave. Just a special player. He will always be a part of Denver's.
Quick slant over the middle on 1st and 15 from the 32. Complete to number 11, Brandon Ayuk. And a few yards on the reception, 2nd down.
He said his feelings were hurt. He was really just sad. But then he said the reality of it all just set in and he started to feel better. He said seeing himself in yellow and blue has been weird. But Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd and Jalen Ramsey and Matthew Stafford being on the field with these guys, he said that feels extremely.
Said he went to bed 4-4, woke up 7-1. But I get it. It must be mixed emotions in Denver. The face of the Broncos for a long time. The outside linebacker facing the NFL team. Jawan Jennings on the receiving end, and Jordan Fuller's had enough of that.
You mentioned it. This field right here was where he had his greatest moment. Super Bowl 50, the MVP, being Von Miller, and 2 sacks. We all remember the sack of Cam Newton recovered by Malik Jackson, scores a touchdown. They win that game, and he will always be remembered for that.
Been a lot of talk about uniform numbers too. Von went back to 40. His college
On 3rd and 6, a first down reception to Deebo Samuel. As Deebo gets from the 40 to the 40 for a 49er first down here, under 10 to play in this third quarter. 21-7 San Francisco. If they can continue this drive now, big third down conversion, no doubt. Maybe even a field goal, I'd say right now, would, for the way the Rams are playing, and unless they get a few good drives going and score quick and get back into it here late, might be a little out of reach for him once this game moves on. A touchdown, I would say, up 3 touchdowns, 3 scores with a quarter and a half to play. This game is fast-paced, very living in fast forward, if you will. Hell, going to be over by 10:30, 11 o'clock. Keeps up. Rather than 11:30 midnight. But San Francisco's, you got to give them credit. They're playing damn good right now. They are. They're keeping it simple. They're playing what they know, how they know best. And it's run to pass to run, it's balance. And Kyle Shanahan, with a 49er win tonight over the Rams, that'll shut him up. That'll shut up a lot of people with a big win tonight, no doubt. And a must-win game as well, in my eyes, as mentioned earlier. Keep them in the hunt. Still a lot of football to be played. How do you build off of this moving forward? Because you just can't, win this and then shit the bed next week or in the weeks to come, and then you're right back where you started from. So, 3rd and 2 from the 32 again. Another first down run up the middle. 1st and 10 for the San Francisco 49ers.
Jeff Wilson doesn't get touched till he gets the first down. This is an impressive. There's something to be said about there's a team in the Rams that knows exactly what you're going to do. You're going to run the ball. And even though they know it, you can't stop it. And now you see Leonard Floyd starting to get a little gimpy and starting to wear on this defense in the second half. At some point,
1st and 10 officially from the 28-yard line now. And that's more movement up front. That's another false start. No penalty, though. Like, what the hell? They, yeah, that play was dead from the start. They somehow got away with that. And it went for a few-yard loss, so 2nd down and long, but 2nd and 16 officially. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. Maybe that was by design. I don't know. I doubt it. Like, what the fuck was that? It all starts up front. You can be able to block the run, but it all starts with the center because he's not going to snap the fucking football. He did, but nobody else moved. And then they lost 6 yards. Now penalty comes out. So a yard reception to Wilson. Russell was hoping for his volleyball yesterday, but they get shut out against Green Bay. I'm going to have an illegal shift on the 49ers, and they'll replay it down. It'll be 2nd and even longer now, 2nd and about 21.
It's a 3-score game, and you have a mistake from the center, and then you have an illegal shift, and you push yourself out of field goal range. Illegal shift. Offense. Receiver never set right to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down. Just the kind of situation is right. The first half they were avoided.
So 2nd and 21 now, following the penalty with 5:41 to play in the third. Still 21-7. Still a very fast Monday night game here this evening. Both teams working the clock for the most part. able to move it in the process as well. From the 39, second and 21, complete to Kittle at the 33. And he'll get 5 and a few more of those false start illegal shift penalty yards back. But still Austin 3rd and 14 for Pie. Not 3rd and 16, as I thought it was. So 5 of 5 and counting. 3rd and 14 here in the third. For the 49ers, up 14, 21-7.
I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to throw a bubble screen or something like that. I'm not going to mess around or a slow screen, maybe to Kittle. 50-yard field goal from here.
Screen to Kittle on the tight end screen, far side into the ground, incomplete, 4th down, and Robbie Gould's going to trot on for a long field goal. He's got the leg, though, no doubt about it. Already 3 for 3 on extra points. Just returned from injury. Missed 4 games. And Robbie Gould from 50 yards out is good as gold. And the 49ers extend their lead to 17, 24-7 with 4:38 to play in the third quarter.
And they're like, wake up late, out of toothpaste, spill coffee in yourself mornings. At least with the 2 for $4, you can do breakfast your way. Want 2 of this, or that, or this and that. Mix an extra salad and biscuit on the 2 for
Innovation usually looks something like this. But what if it didn't? What if it looked like a family truck that powers a family home? Or an ordinary drive made extraordinary? Let's change what innovation looks like. From floating around in your own personal space capsule up here to what we could build for all Americans down here.
The same time, or in the same way. But no matter when or how, your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative is there to help you power every moment of it in countless ways. Because whenever it starts, one thing is certain: we never stop. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your source for power and information.
We took the truck that helped build this country and made it so it could power our homes. We took the vehicles businesses use to keep the lights on and made them run on the same thing that turns the lights on. We took the original 0 to 60 head turner and gave it 0 tailpipe emissions. We took the familiar and made it revolutionary.
Tom Brady's first-hand account of each of his 10 Super Bowl seasons debuts tomorrow on ESPN+. Tom will look at the games, the moments, the people that have shaped his life, help make him the man he is today. And it all starts tomorrow with that Super Bowl 36 season. A new episode will be available every Tuesday on ESPN+. We'll see Tom next week. The Bucs, the Giants.
Let's go back and take a look at Odell Beckham, our #1 story coming in. How are they using him? Well, they're using him as a diversion here to open up for Cooper Kupp. I think this is smart by Sean McVay. Get a seam ball off the sideline and then give him some individual routes. Because he knows exactly how to run these routes. He's done it a long time. And then use him as a decoy again to bring the over route over the top. They have to have him to get back in this game down 3-6.
From the 25, 1st and 10 for LA. Play action from Stafford. Almost picked off. Down the middle of the field again. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10 as number 18. See a replay here. That's a catch, but then a drop on the interception as well. Got to catch that. Stafford threw it behind his intended target. As mentioned, number 18, Ben Skoranek. So just lucky he didn't throw another interception there. 2nd and 10 and a 7-yard run up the middle. 3rd down and 3. Sony Michel, his 2nd, maybe 3rd front of the night. It's been for the most part Darrell Henderson. But LA asking a little too much, I'd say, right now for Matthew Stafford. At least that's what it was earlier. They're sticking to the game plan, and I like it, but you're down 17 now, 3rd and 4. You got to catch that football to begin with. You got to get moving, and they don't. Another 3 and out, 4th down, and LA is going to punt again. And the Niners, I feel they can feel it right now with 3:49 to play in the 3rd. They score again. I mean, the game is for the most part over right now as it is, because LA can't do a damn thing. The Niners are going to end up, unless LA comes back and wins it somehow, some way. San Francisco going to hold on to win this. Be a big win for them, too, at home on Monday night against LA. Big division win. Affect the standings, potentially, depending on the rest of the season as well, with some head-to-head. But, yeah, I'd say there's a lot of people shocked right now. There's a lot of people probably hoping the Rams are going to come back and make this game and win it. Along with there's probably a lot of people hoping that the 49ers hold on to win and pull the upset. It's just been, that upset week. Normally it's just, a few games throughout the whole entire season, but it's like, following, in my opinion, last Saturday, the first Saturday of the month, November the 6th, the arguably best college football Saturday of the season thus far. Last week in the NFL was upset week, and it's now continued into this week with a few of the games that were played here week 10. But, hey, that's why they play them. Because, as I've said before, if it's decided on paper, or if anybody had a say in who's going to win, then everybody's favorite team, would be victorious and win in every single game. Which that's not possible to begin with, but that's exactly how it would be. That's why they play the game. It's not decided on paper, it's decided on the field. And until the end of time, that's how it'll be. Until, football's not played ever again. That'll never happen. We thought there for a time last year that we weren't going to get any sports in general because of COVID. But we had a season. Now, arguably, I'd say right now, too, the way the season has gone for both college football and the NFL, and the biggest season ever in the National League this year, too. Looking at it now, with what's happened and what's potentially to come, and how these games are probably going to play out, because we're always going to get damn good football. It's just a matter of who's involved and when it is, and how it affects everything else then at that point in time, too. But this college football season, this NFL season, the way it is now and the way it could turn out to be here in a few months. I'm going to say this now, mid-November, because I'm sure there'll probably be a few reports that, I didn't say this or I didn't say that, or other people will be saying it. I'm going to say it first now. while I had the chance. This season, in general, for football, college and the NFL, by themselves and then combined even more, could go down as of late. We'll say this century, since 2000. And there's been a lot of damn good football through the years, a lot of damn good seasons in general by a lot of different players and teams. This potentially could go down as one of the best in the return from COVID. You know, 1 year after, for the most part, no fans whatsoever, depending on where you're located at. Could arguably go down as one of the best, if not the best, football season like ever. So, anybody else feels about that, but you know, as I've said a few different things tonight that for the most part we'll sometimes hold off on or just don't in general. You know, I've been thinking as of late, and it's, I mean, you really think deep and hard about it. It's to an extent true, just depending on, well, who you like, and then in the end how you react to it and what you do about it. So only time will tell, and I'll leave it at that. But Monday Night Football, 49ers on top of the Rams, 24-7 here as we near the end of the third quarter already. And we just passed the 10 o'clock hour. So this game absolutely flying by the edge of our seat right now. 2:32 and counting play in this third. 2nd and 7. Pass complete and dropped near side to Brandon Ayuk. Third down with both teams now having all 3 timeouts remaining. We only had 1 timeout this whole entire game. It was by San Francisco. The turnovers right now and the fake field goal are coming back to bite LA because San Francisco just kicked the kick. Okay, you have your field goal from earlier that you decided to fake it. You have those 3 points there. You're down 14 rather than 17. Of course, everything else goes the way it has. But then you don't turn the ball over. This game's tied at 10. But it's 24-7. San Francisco and the Niners pick up another big first down on third down. They've been able to convert on third down tonight, and credit to them. And that, along with everything else I just said, is helping them win this game right now.
No, we have not mentioned all night, not once for San Francisco, Trey Lance. And you know why? Jimmy Garoppolo's managing this game perfectly to this point.
Trey Lance doesn't need to play the way Garoppolo is playing right now. Nice block by Kittle. And then Garoppolo, okay, incomplete, and then almost picked off. Falls to the ground, incomplete, 2nd down. Run the football. Run this clock, if I'm San Fran. Garoppolo now 13-16 for $135 and a touchdown. Stafford's 14-21 for $140, a touchdown, and those 2 picks. And that's what's killing them right now. Those 2 interceptions that San Francisco capitalized, 2 touchdowns on, and then the fake field goal. Because if they have the field goal rather than faking it, and Stafford doesn't turn the ball over, and of course San Francisco not being able to capitalize on it at that point, everything else goes the way it has. We're tied at 10 right now. Not 24-7, it's 10-10. But we got a timeout. And the Niners with their first here in the second half. So they're still the only team between these 2 teams facing off against each other tonight to call a single timeout on Monday Night Football. So they'll take a timeout. We'll take a commercial break as well. So be down to go when we return. But still going to be in for an interesting finish. You know, LA, I mean, I could still see them scoring probably at least 1 more touchdown, maybe 2, They get a stop on defense. Their defense has been quiet tonight. It has. I mean, they're both defenses, that is, are now starting to make some stops in the second half, but it's been a quiet night by both these defenses. I mean, San Francisco, of course, is playing better than LA's because, well, even with a defensive score, okay, you can add that in, but they're holding the Rams to 7 points. So that has to speak for something, and they're winning. Name of the game is to win, because all anybody ever remembers anymore. So, yeah, 24-7 with San Francisco on top of the LA Rams.
Trent Williams, that tackle for these 49ers, but he has been moving people up front, and there's nobody better in the National Football League than Trent Williams. His size, 320 pounds, he can move like a linebacker. Rare combination. Pressure coming. Unloaded, missed his mark. Great gains, was coming at him, put the lick on him. Not sure how many times Garoppolo's hit the turf tonight, but it wasn't much. That's the stop that the Rams defense needed. That's a nice double situation where Rams scored the Rams, scored the outside of the formation. There he's going for the nice play. Which now changes the second half of the night. We're back in 15 seconds.
He's facing a tough decision here, Jim. The tension is mounting.
Trilliard Seltzer. Go for two.
Final minute of play, third quarter. Three-possession kind of game, 24-7 San Francisco. You see some urgency out of the Rams on offense. They are backed up. Well, we're starting field position over there.
After a timeout, the 49ers, yes, they've been able to convert on third down, but they end up punting on that last drive. Now 1st and 10 for the Rams, down 17 with 53 seconds to play in the third quarter. Stafford complete to Cooper Kupp to the 15-yard line on a gain of 6, second down and 4. Clock rolling. They'll probably get one more play off before the end of the quarter with about a 8-second differential between the game clock and the play clock. 2nd and 4. Out of the gun, trips top of your screen. And Stafford going to get on the sack back at the 5-yard line. Somehow dumps it off, though, on a shuffle pass complete to Henderson. Going to lose 3 yards. He would have lost more on the sack, though, so good decision to get rid of it. But he's already thrown 2 interceptions, along with a couple close calls on top of that. Should have a few more, at least 3. 3rd and 7. Empty set 5 wide. Nick Bosa was the one who almost brought him down. And it's dropped incomplete near side by Tyler Higbee. 4th down, and with 1 second to play in the quarter, they're going to have to punt. And the Niners are going to get the football back. And if they can work the clock, run the football, Garoppolo, of course, working the play action, just keep it simple and work the sticks. Already up 17, don't do anything stupid. The 49ers are going to win this game. This game's over with 15 minutes to play. And this game is going to be over by 11 o'clock at the latest. And arguably one of the fastest games of the season. Fair catch at the 44, 1st and 10. From there, as we hit the end of the 3rd quarter. We're not even 2 hours in, we're at the end of the 3rd quarter. Normally, an average NFL game is about 3.5 hours. So, think about that for a minute, yeah. At the end of 3, 24-7, San Francisco, the 49ers lead the LA Rams here tonight on Monday night. Stafford is now 16-24 for 143 yards passing, a touchdown in those 2 picks that have now come back to haunt them. Garoppolo, 13-17 for $135 and a touchdown. Darrell Henderson has 5 carries for 31 yards rushing. Sonny Michel, 3 for 13. And then as a team, the Niners have 121 yards rushing and a touchdown. Samuel, 5 for 36 in the score. Jeff Wilson, 9 for 28. Elijah Mitchell, though, 15 carries, 56 yards rushing. Big night by him. And then receiving, Cooper Kupp now 5 catches for 50 yards receiving. Van Jefferson 2 for 49. OBJ only 2 catches, 18 yards still. Held a lot of catch in that 3rd quarter. Henderson 4 for 10. Higbee, couple catches for about 10 yards as well. The tight ends have been playing well. They have a touchdown apiece with him and Kittle. A rushing touchdown by San Fran, and defense score along with a field goal. So 24-7. As Kittle has 5 catches, 50 yards in the score. Deebo Samuel, 3 catches, 50 yards. Brandon Ayuk, 3 for 26. Juszczyk and Jennings have a catch apiece for about 10 yards total between the 2 of them. So 24-7 at the end of 3 with the Niners on top of the LA Rams here tonight on Monday Night Football. So once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below.
Hey, NFL fans, my name is Colonel Aaron Dunn. I'm stationed in Atlantic City, New Jersey, home of the 177 Fighter Wing, the Jersey Devils. My one mission today is to tell our San Francisco 49ers and our 49er faithful, Go Niners!
Thank you, Colonel Dunn. There's Haley McLean-Hill. She opened our show tonight. Did a great job voicing over the teams. You want to talk about a dual threat? And yet, she leads more than 300 airmen, is responsible for an estimated $9.8 million in Air Force assets. And oh, by the way, she's a cheerleader for the 49ers also.
So, great way to open the show.
And we open up the 4th quarter.
Run the football. Run the football, run the clock. You have a 17-point lead. Just keep running, running, and running. And then at that point in time, you'll run away with the win. 8-yard run on 1st and 10 to begin the 4th and final quarter of play here tonight on Monday Night Football. 2nd and 2 for the 49ers, up 24-7. Out of the eye, Garoppolo under center. Going to hand off to Elijah Mitchell for a 3-yard run. 1st down, San Fran. Needed 2, got 3, 1st and 10.
Chiefs looked back last night, man. Looked back, by the way. Patrick Mahomes and the typical Mahomes effort he was making. Again, they always seem to be grouped together. And what they do, what they mean to their respective offenses. Yeah, we need those guys helping and playing every single week.
Yeah, it was great to see Kansas City back explosive last night against the Raiders. And we love Travis Kelce, but he does not block.
Another handoff to Mitchell for 3 more yards. It'll be second down.
Some news notes around the NFL, so we're good. Everybody's off. We're good with the Chiefs now. Everybody's back. We're good. No more panic time in Kansas City. Patrick 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Cam Newton's back in a big way. You let everybody know about that. And the AFC, man, that is tight. 12 AFC.
The AFC is pretty damn tight right now.
It's going to be a wild race.
The NFC's top heavy. The AFC's tight. It is.
Regardless of the result tonight, the Rams are going to stay 5th in the
AFC North going to come down to the wire. I mean, you got the Bills and Patriots in the East. It's basically the Titans and Colts in the South. And out west, it could be any of the 4, like I said earlier. And then NFC-wise, of course, out west here, you have Arizona and LA, but the 49ers and Seahawks are still in it for the time being. Dallas is going to win the East. They'll be the only team to come out of that division, I'd say. Even with still a lot of football to be played. We all know how the Giants, Eagles, and Skins play, or have played this year. So, yeah, that's going to be Dallas's division. Plus, a different team wins that division every year anyway. So, last year it wasn't Dallas, it was Washington, so it'll be Dallas this year because it's not going to be New York or Philly. I can guarantee you that. I'd be shocked if it was. The North, along with the South, right now it's still Green Bay and Tampa. But, Minnesota, Chicago is right there too, along with New Orleans, and Carolina is 500 again at 5-5 with a big win yesterday. Arizona, and they're getting Cam Newton back, so we'll see, of course, how he plays. But 3rd down and 6 in the meantime from the 40 for the Niners. Another handoff up the middle, a yard, no gain, and 4th down, they'll punt. And so they want to kick a long field goal once again on the rugby gold. Maybe go for it. I'd punt, pin them deep. Because you go for it, you don't get it, you're going to give them a short field. You make them drive the length of the field if they're going to come back and beat you on the road here tonight. I don't agree with this decision to go for it on 4th and 5 for the Niners right now with 11.5 to play. Now, if they get it, okay, credit to them. They're right, I'm wrong, but I wouldn't go for it. But I could say I told you so if they don't get it. So we'll see what happens. Play clock winding down. They're just going to take a delay game, call a timeout. Okay, they call a timeout. Take a delay game, back yourselves up 5 yards, give yourselves a few more yards as a punt. Unless they still really want to go for it to close this game out. Because if they convert, end up scoring a touchdown in this drive, I mean, this game's over as it is right now anyway, 24-7. Score a touchdown, go up 31-7 with 10 minutes and change to play, the game's for sure over. Field goal, okay, that's still doable for LA, but then it's going to go back still once to get into the fake field goal. Not so much the turnovers, but then they still factor in because there's 2 touchdowns for the 49ers as it stands right now too. So, yeah. In the end, the Rams are just going to get beat. Plain and simple. Outplayed and beat. Empty set, 5 wide. They're going to go for it. 4th and 5 here, 11 minutes to play. Garoppolo over the middle, big 1st down, and that's going to seal it. Touchdown to Deebo Samuel from 40 yards out. And with 11:07 to play, the Niners are on top 30-7 on top of the LA Rams. Wow, just wow. Yeah, simple crosser over the middle on empty set, 5 wide, and Bubba, That's a touchdown. Kick up and good. 31-7. San Francisco leading the LA Rams here tonight on Monday Night Football. Wow, just wow. I think everybody's going to be in shock. Not with how good the 49ers and how big they're going to win by, how good they're playing, but just how bad the Rams are looking tonight. You know, everybody's talking about the debuts of OBJ and Von Miller. They haven't done jack shit. You know, you've won without them. Now you're going to try to win with them. Hell, I'd go back to winning without them because, okay, they had Miller last week, but he didn't play against the Titans on Sunday night. They just got OBJ on Thursday, so he's playing. Well, they're both on the team, and they're both playing for the first time tonight. They're both active in their debuts with the Rams. But LA sitting at 7-2, about to be 7-3 here in about 11 minutes of football. Now trailing the Niners 31-7. And Garoppolo is outdoling Matthew Stafford. The 2 interceptions are coming back to bite him in the ass and going for the fake field goal as well. And they can't get stops on defense. And they don't have a running game. You look at San Francisco, for God's sakes. Garoppolo is mentioned near perfect. Both quarterbacks for the most part almost are. There's a, 4 completion attempt margin difference. Jimmy G's 15-19. Stafford's 16-24. So, yeah, 8-4-0. Garoppolo's 15-19 for $182 and 2 touchdowns. 1 to Kittle, 1 to Samuel. Samuel has 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing and 1 receiving. And then Stafford 16-24 for 143 yards passing, still a touchdown and 2 interceptions. But then you look at the rushing. You know, I've always said you have to be able to run the football. You have to have a running game. You have to be balanced and you have to be consistent. And that's what San Francisco is tonight. I really didn't think it'd play into this much of a factor here tonight with these two teams, knowing how much, you know, they want to air it out. But then it's still one up front, you know, in the trenches. Both teams have been able to protect the quarterback. They have. But what defense is bending but not breaking? You know, at San Francisco, they have the defense touchdown, and they're holding LA to 7 points. And that 7 points was to cut it at 14-7. And now the Niners have scored, you know, how many unanswered since at 31-7. So, yeah, it's rushing. San Francisco beating LA in that category. Henderson 5-31 and Sony Michel 3-13 still. Yeah, the turnovers are killing them. The fake field goal. Defense can't get off the field. As Deebo Samuel has 5 carries for 36 yards rushing and a touchdown. Also receiving has 5 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. So Deebo Samuel is the MVP tonight. In my eyes, at least, he is right now. Unless, you know, the Rams, you know, bearing any comeback, find a way to get back in and win it. But Stafford over the middle. Ball was deflected by Boza, former Buckeye. Very loud defense chance, 2nd down and 10. Samuel has 5 carries, 36 yards on the ground and scored. Jeff Wilson, 10-28. Elijah Mitchell playing extremely well tonight. 18 carries for 70 yards on the ground, but as a team, they have 135 yards rushing on 35 attempts. 2nd and 10 from the 32. Slant, deflected, and it falls incomplete. Late penalty flag with 10.5 to play. Probably going to be a defensive pass interference. Now these refs are going to start allowing the Rams to come back. Like I said, they'll probably score once more, I bet, and then they'll probably be it. Unless they'd get an onside kick and score quick. Somehow get a turnover, score again, maybe. I mean, this game by any means isn't over just yet, but it's over. Down 31-7 with 10.5 to play, even with 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning. That's a ton of time, yes, don't get me wrong, but it's just too much to ask for. They dug themselves an early grave, and they can't get out of the hole. First and 10 after the penalty from the 39. Stafford down the middle, just dropped by Jefferson. Incomplete, second down. Stafford is just not playing good tonight. He's back to playing the way he played in Detroit when they literally sucked. He led him to the playoffs a few times, and he's played damn good football in his career, don't get me wrong. But, you know, they're just hitting a brick wall tonight, and the San Francisco 49ers, plain and simple. And they're going to lose 2 in a row in primetime against the Titans and Niners once this game is said and done. Second and 10 from the 39. Stafford complete to Cooper Kupp. And to the 45, he goes for another Ram first down. Empty set 5 wide from the 45. Stafford going to step up, going to go deep near side. Has a man, and it's almost picked off of the 3. Incomplete, intended for Cooper Kupp again. Underthrown, almost picked off. Stafford has 2 interceptions, should have about 5 of them at this point. Just has not played good. And San Francisco's been able to capitalize off of the poor mistakes. Yeah, that should have been picked. And then 2 defenders ran into each other. Jarred loose, incomplete. Under 10 to play, second down. This game is absolutely flying by. Quick bubble screen complete to Kupp. And he gets to the 39 on a gain of 6. Third down and 4. Clock on the roll here. 9:42 and counting. They got to go. I mean, they don't have a whole hell of a lot of time here. They got to score again, and score again if they're going to want to even get close. Stafford complete. Another first down to Cooper Kupp.
There was a lot of talk this week in this town about this team and losing 5 out of 6. And if they would have come in here and laid another egg and gone 0-4 in the division, there was a lot of talk. And the buzzers were suffering. And so what they have done is a place.
From the 28, Stafford over the middle. What an interception. Caught it with his ass. Intended for Kupp. It was deflected and picked off. But we got a penalty flag on the field. That's an interception, for sure. But what's the penalty? See a replay. Yeah, he caught it with his ass. That's a first. The ball never hit the ground. Pass interference on the defense, no interception. Come on, you can't take that off the board. Automatic first down, though. It was PI, but still. Well, questionable call, but they called it. Still PI. You can't do anything about it. You're up 31-7 anyway. Why the hell do you care? Because even if you do let them score, or if they just score in general, you don't let them score. I'd hope to God you don't let other teams just score on you like that. But you'd still be up, 31-10 if they have to settle for 3, or, 31-14 here with 8:59 to play. You're going to run the ball and work the clock, and you're going to hold on to win anyway for the most part. So, yeah, disagreement with pass interference. That should have been an interception. He caught it with his ass. Literally. He caught it with his ass after the deflection. Good coverage. They called a flag on him. And then was able to snatch it. Second down and 5. 8:28 and counting to play from the 18. Trips in a bunch near side. This has been the Cooper Kupp drive. Look for Stafford to go back to him, I'd say. No, and they go to Van Jefferson. He catches it, but he bobbled it a few times before he caught, and by the time he caught it, he was out of bounds, so incomplete, 3rd down and 5. And, of course, you have to have both feet in bounds for a catch anyway in the NFL. So it's a nice play, nice throw. He caught it. Yeah, juggled, bobbled it. By the time he caught it, he was way out of bounds, incomplete. Yeah, that's incomplete. 3rd down and 5. It's still been an exciting game. It has, no doubt about it. So we've flown by, and it's been a San Francisco shellacking of the Rams. They go back to Kupp, and he gets a first down inside the 10, 1st and goal from the 9. So go back to him again. End it with a touchdown now. Maybe go back to Higbee. Of course, he has a touchdown in the red zone earlier when you cut it to 7 at 14-7, but since then it's been all San Fran. It's been all San Fran from the start to begin with anyway, so the turnovers are killing LA tonight. And they can't get stops on defense. Even you go back to the fake field goal, that's hurting them too. Sack. Back at the 18 on Stafford. 2nd and goal. I mean, the fake field goal, it really didn't play in, but that's 3 points. They would have kicked it. Because the 49ers didn't capitalize before the half. And then it turned into a punt contest early 3rd quarter, but then it got rolling again for the 49ers ever since. And the Rams here in the end are flat out just going to get beat. And they'll go into the bye week losing 2 straight. And then they'll probably come out of it. They might lose 1 or 2 more by the end of the season, don't get me wrong. But they'll probably come out of it better than what they are right now. Everybody, just as the Chiefs' roller coaster season continues, 3 in a row now in the win column after a few weeks back, it's like, what the hell? I feel the Rams are going to be, that team everybody's going to be talking about now moving ahead. And then they'll shut everybody up again and get back on a winning streak. And, they'll be all right. Just 1 game, still a lot of football left to be played, and, they'll forget about this and, work on the bye week, worry about your upcoming opponents. 2nd and goal from the 12. Stafford on a bubble, complete to Cooper Kupp. And Kupp gets to the 6. Kupp's one of the most reliable wide receivers out there. As mentioned earlier, he is a true top-tier wide receiver. True number 1 in my books in the NFL. I'd want Cooper Kupp on my team playing wide receiver for me, no doubt about it. 3rd and goal. Timeout. Got a timeout. Got a whistle. Zebras are huddling up. I don't know what they're going to say, but there's no penalty and there's no timeout called. And there wasn't a delay of game. There's still 2 seconds on the play clock. The clock was rolling. It's 3rd and goal from the 6. Yeah, what the hell? The clock did not start. How did the clock not start when it was fucking running? 6:17. Okay, it's at 6:42. It ran from 6:46 because that's where it was at once they reset it. It obviously must have quit running and I didn't notice. That's why they blew the whistle. So 6:17 to play. 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line, with 10 seconds on the play clock. That's rolling now as well. Rams snap it. Stafford's going to step up. Stafford's going to pump fake. Stafford's going to run. He's going to throw, but beyond the line of scrimmage, that's a penalty. That's an illegal forward pass, but there's no penalty called. What the hell? Then the flag comes out.
It's just been off all night for sure.
Yeah.
Extend that play.
Rams are just going backwards now. They want this game to be over with.
Van Jefferson tries to get to him. He's just out of bounds.
Just
And been one of those nights for Matt Stafford.
get home safely and get to the bye week and move on. Illegal forward pass by Stafford. Yeah, no shit. He went beyond the line of scrimmage before he threw it. You can't do that. 5 yards, they'll replay it down, 3rd and goal. Or lost it down, 4th and goal. They'll go for it, though. What did I just fucking say? I'm sure you can hear the audio of that in the background. I swear to God, I'm bugged. Like, come on. 4th and goal. Here's your ball game, basically, from the 11. Empty set 5 wide with 6:05 to play. Stafford, a little too high, back the end zone, incomplete. And a turnover on downs. 49ers are going to get it back, up 31-7 with 6 minutes to play. Yeah, we should be done by 11, I'd say, at the latest. Hell, I should probably wrap up now as it is. This game's over with. There's no way in hell that the Rams are coming back to win this. Down 24 with 6 minutes to play, 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. Still to come, yeah, there's no way in hell they're coming back and winning this. What the Niners are going to do, they're going to run this clock out. They're going to try to, at least. And I would think, unless they don't take up any time at all, they'll take up a good portion of it. They'll take up at least half, I'd say. Make LA, of course, call their timeouts. 49ers have been able to convert on 3rd down tonight. So keep that in mind on this upcoming drive. It comes down to, which it will. How many times is the question. And if they can work 6 minutes off the clock and score, or just, when it comes down to it, then take a knee at that point in time, then, okay, so be it. But credit to the Niners tonight. I mean, the 49ers tonight on offense have had
is the dating app that's designed to be deleted.
One 6-minute drive that resulted in a field goal.
And be done with us.
They had a 7-minute drive that resulted in a touchdown. And they had an 11-minute drive that also resulted in a touchdown. So don't tell me they can't take this final 6 minutes and change off the clock. And for sure, seal the deal and close this game out when the game's already won. Hell, we might see Trey Lance on this next drive. Rest Garoppolo, run the football, see what the rookie's got. Of course, just don't do anything stupid, though. You still don't want to turn the ball over, and give them some free yards, free points. You have 14 of LA's off of 2 turnovers, and that's what's costing them right now. So, yeah, the Niners are going to go old school, as they are fit to do so. That's how they're set up scheme-wise with Kyle Shanahan as the head coach. They're going to run this football, and they're going to run the clock. And they're going to go about 90 yards once again and score some points, if I'd have to guess. We'll see. Okay, from the 11, so an upcoming potential 89-yard drive. Toss near side, and Elijah Mitchell is going to lose a yard or so. So back to 90 if they do end up scoring a touchdown. But LA's got 3 timeouts. When do you, of course, start to use them? Because if you use them at all, knowing you're down and you're not going to get the ball back to have a chance to drive and score anyway. Niners are going to take this down, of course, as far as they can. There's about a 15-second differential between the game clock and the play clock. So they'll snap it officially with 2 seconds on the play clock at 5:15 to play. They get a yard on 2nd and 12, so 3rd down and 11. And a whistle. And the Rams call their first timeout, so they will get the ball back here. So they're not going to be able to take a lot of time as thought off the clock, unless they convert on 3rd down again here. And then you move from there.
This play is crucial. It's crucial for the stretch run. You know, it's one thing, it's the Titans, right? Right now, they're the class of the AFC, right? They're the hottest team maybe in football, but now they get the 49ers team that lost 5 or 6. It's exposing some warts for LA.
Yeah, but this was a team, we knew that San Francisco was talented. They hadn't played well. They've had a lot of injuries, but they're coming together as a team. And you see what happens when everybody has the same mentality and mindset, the way you can play. The Rams need to find that.
Niners told us this week it felt different this week in practice. It's Rams week here in Northern California.
3rd and 10, Garoppolo going to hand off again, and Mitchell for another yard or so, 4th down. Another Ram timeout. They'll have 1 remaining with 5:08 to play. Stafford and the Rams offense going to get the football back and have another chance to do something here. But they're still down 24 with 5:08 to play, 1 timeout, even with a 2-minute warning. You're asking too much because you didn't do enough early and you turned the ball over and it cost you and you haven't been able to make stops on defense the whole entire game. Plain and simple, end of story. They're getting beat. Flat out beat here tonight on Monday Night Football. Not getting their ass kicked by any means, but they're getting their ass kicked. It's right there on the line. You got to toe it a little bit, but yeah. San Francisco, hey, they make LA call 2 of their 3 timeouts. They take about a minute off the clock. Punt will bounce at midfield, and that's where LA will start. 1st and 10, under 5 to play. Down 24, 31-7 here tonight on Monday Night Football.
When you spend all the years serving others, when you lead by example, being a guiding light to those who look up to you, you don't just land on the nice list. You get rewarded by becoming the top brand in new vehicle quality in the automotive industry. Celebrate all the good you've done this year with a lineup of Ram trucks built to serve.
Feel stuck with a credit card that works against you? Move to a SoFi credit card and feel what it's like to get your money right. Move to a SoFi credit card and get 2% cash back on all your spending with no annual fees. Grab your share of up to $1 million in rewards points this holiday season and get your money right.
Sheldon, what do you think of our new Pistachios football campaign?
Hey!
What is he doing?
I'm storming out. Tuna fish, Steve? You got a big second half of thermodynamics to teach, whatever that is. Let's fill up with some chunky soup. Go up with 19 grams of protein per can and chunky chicken noodle. Lunchtime is your halftime.
Just run as fast as you can. Keep your arms out, your eyes on the ball. Once you catch it, never stop. Nevada Stadium, located 38 miles southeast of San Francisco. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Coming from the heart of Silicon Valley. And all sorts of war. Where do you want to start? The Rams' problems tonight. Hey, a big part of their problems with the 49ers will be down.
Yeah, but they certainly didn't look in the second quarter. And this one right here, that was the one that was the most painful right at the start of this game. The one that Tyler Higbee and Jimmy Ward, give him credit, the right spot, the right time. They had not been making those turnovers. They only had 2 interceptions coming into the night, only 5 total turnovers.
First and 10 LA, back from commercial break. Thank you for listening from the 48-yard line. Be sure to subscribe. 31-7 San Francisco with under 5 minutes to play. 2-yard reception to Sonny Michel. Second down.
San Francisco been a terrible first quarter team, and mostly it scored in the first quarter was 12 points. They've been shut out.
This has to be, once it goes final, the biggest and toughest, biggest loss on the flip side, but the biggest win for the Rams, at least at home, in quite a while, along with, probably the more tougher than bigger loss for the Rams, the toughest loss they've had in quite a while as well. So Stafford gets rid of it, complete to Sonny Michel on 1st and 10, gets 9 yards, will be second and short. 4:04 to play, got a late penalty flag, probably for a late hit on Matthew Stafford, if I'd have to guess. Yep, personal foul, roughing the passer, going low on number 9. So an automatic first down. Stafford did take a shot late. Got rid of it and then went down on a sack. But, yeah, you can't go low like that. That's questionable, but still, it's the rule. So it is what it is. It's all about safety. It's all about protection. Yet they still try to cancel this, that, or the other, or anything that's in between. First and goal. From the 8, Higbee in motion near side. Stafford, quick pass, incomplete. No idea who the hell he was going to there. Looked like he was going to dump it off on the screen near side to Henderson, no. And then ended up throwing for 5 yards, and it fell incomplete. On a curl route, it looked like to both Higbee and Jefferson, but neither were there. He got rid of it quick. They weren't ready for it. Good pressure by the 49ers, and it falls incomplete. Now second and goal, 4:02 to play from the 8-yard line. Empty set, 5 wide, marching in, knocking on the door, down 24, 31-7 here with 4 minutes to play. One timeout for both teams. Stafford pump fakes, fade, back corner, a little too high for Henderson, incomplete, 3rd and goal. Wonder what OBJ's thinking right now. Or what Von Miller's thinking right now. They didn't do absolutely anything tonight. OBJ's probably going to ready to start throwing another fucking hissy fit. Try to get out of town. Stafford goes down on a sack back at the 20, but then a late penalty flag, probably for another late hit or a hold. And, I mean, this game's been over. It's going to be over for sure here in a second, but yeah, these damn penalties from these officials, that's a hold. Penalties decline with a sack. 4th and goal. 4th and goal from the 20. They'll definitely go for it, but they got to score a touchdown. Actually, they're going to kick the field goal. Going to run another fake from 37 yards out. Matt Gay looking to kick it straight down the middle. He does. Kicks up and good. 31-10 with 3:48 to play. Onside kick to come probably, I'd guess. With 1 timeout, 2-minute warning. Try to get the ball back. They need a few more scores, though. This game's over. This game is over with.
But look at that. Those are potential wild card contenders. The Vikings, the Seahawks, Falcons, right? Those are NFC wild card contenders that they have coming up in a direct head-to-head where they could potentially separate themselves.
Now the question is, can San Francisco keep up this level of play with consistency, right? And that's what the NFL is all about. Every team has these kind of performances where it's emotional, big Monday night matchup, division opponent. We beat the tar out of them before. We're going to do it again. But now, how do you respond to this?
You show up to Jacksonville.
That's right. How do you respond? That's the key in the NFL. I was told by our coach, a very good coach, up there in Foxborough a long time ago. I don't need people who are up and down. I need people who are consistent. Up and down gets you 800. Gets you 500. Gets coaches fired. Try the onside kick.
Onside kick. The Niners recover, and that should do it for sure. 31-10 with 3:48 to play. Timeout apiece and 2-minute warning, but run the ball, run the clock. At least they finished on a high, the Rams, with a field goal. But it's still going to go back to the 2 interceptions that the 49ers capitalized 14 points off of on. The fake field goal, and not being able to make stops on defense tonight. The Rams getting flat out beat. Their asses handed to them on the road here tonight on Monday Night Football against the 49ers. And they'll lose their second in a row. And your final score will, for the most part, bearing any more scoring with 3:48 to play, 31-10. Garoppolo under center, going to hand off from the 44 to Elijah Mitchell. And Mitch gets to the 35 for a gain of 9, second and short. Now we'll run the ball, run this clock. And we'll have a less than 3-hour game in the NFL here tonight on Monday Night Football. Arguably the fastest game of the season at this point in time, I'd say. Because normally, on average, an NFL game is about 3.5 hours. Kickoff was about 8:20. It's not even 11 o'clock yet here tonight. So, do the math. Second and 1, going to hand off again to Mitchell, and he gets another 49er first down. They'll take this down to about 2:16 before they have to snap it. And then the 2-minute warning. Maybe one more first down just to for sure seal it. A couple of kneel downs, and then that'll do it. And the Niners are going to win tonight at home on Monday Night Football against the Los Angeles Rams. And your final score, because I doubt they'll score here, it'll be 31-10. Rams bye week next week comes at a good time. It does. But they'll get back on track, believe me. They'll be all right. It's just one game. Sucks for them. It's in division. But it's still just one game. They'll be all right. Got some pushing and shoving. But on second down, we hit the 2-minute warning. With 2 minutes to play here tonight on Monday Night Football, it'll be second down for the Niners, up 21, 31-10. And 14 of those 21 points that they lead by were off of 2 Matthew Stafford interceptions. They don't have those. They have the field goal that they faked it on, get a stop or 2, score. We got ourselves a ball game, not a blowout. But this happens every once in a while. That's why the games are played. It's not decided on paper, it's decided on the field. But, it seems like the Niners are going to have to get at least one more first down here. The Rams aren't going to call their third final timeout. They'll keep it, I bet. I mean, even if they have to punt or kick a field goal,
Want me to draw?
okay.
Everyone says you couldn't.
I mean, it's not gonna,
Risk has that.
Show people occurred. Got hard.
for the most part, piss anybody off to the extreme. But, you know, at the same time, yeah, I understand sportsmanship and all that, but, you know, the Rams were the favorite. So the 49ers are going to cover. They're going to win outright. We won't have any bad beats by any means, but in the end, here tonight, looking back on it, the turnovers, the fake field goal with the 3 points that they could have had, and not being able to make stops on defense and no running game for the Rams tonight compared to the 49ers is why they're going to end up losing. And the Niners are going to win it 31-10. So we'll update some final stats and scores here in a second once this game officially goes final. So stay tuned. But once again, thank you for tuning in and listening. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button with the notification bell next to it as well, so you can stay up to date. And hopefully we'll tune in next weekend as well for more live watch-along reactions live here on YouTube with college football, Rutgers, Penn State, NFL, Cowboys, Chiefs, Steelers, Chargers, along with WWE Survivor Series. But keep an eye out tomorrow as well. Actually, on Wednesday, I will record tomorrow my AW Full Gear review. But be sure to keep an eye out for that video live right here on the channel. But just be sure to subscribe. The easiest way to stay up to date is, in fact, on social media. Links in the description below. Second down for the 49ers from the 33. So, I mean, if it came down to they wanted to bring Robbie Gould on for another field goal, they probably could if they want to just for sure see it. Clothesline tackle. Shit. That was a big tackle by Copeland. Tackle for loss in the backfield, 3rd and long. And the Niners can take this down to about 1:16 now before snapping it on 3rd down. So unless they get a first down, yeah, they'll either punt or kick a field goal. And the Rams should get it back. But a first down will seal it right here on 3rd and 14.
His last catch of his two plays into the second quarter. Von Miller saw the field, 41 snaps, made 3 tackles.
Toss near side, nice block, and Mitchell the stiff arm before being brought down. Stays in bounds though, so the clock's going to roll. So San Francisco is going to wind this clock unless LA calls a timeout here to about 30 seconds before they call a timeout. Maybe hell, even take a delay a game if they'd want to punt rather than kick the field goal, and then seal it. I mean, I'd say if there was less than 10 seconds, you snap it on 4th down and you just run around until, time runs out and then just heave it and then it falls incomplete. It's not like they can do anything at that point. 4th and 6, offense going to stay out there. And from the 30, they'll snap it. And a handoff, and the 49ers aren't going to get the first down. It'll be about a half yard short. So the Rams are going to get it back with 24 seconds to play. And, I mean, if they take a knee, okay, cut their loss, head back home, headed in the bye week, all right. And the 49ers are going to win at home for the first time in over a year. It was last October. Because as mentioned earlier, with them having to play home games on the road last year because of COVID. But a big win by the Niners tonight. But yeah, we'll see if they take a knee. I assume they will. They might run a play. They'll probably just hand it off, though, up the middle. I mean, Stafford could air it out deep, but it's not going to do them any good. They're going to lose here by 21 unless they score on a 75-yard drive with 24 seconds of timeout. Handoff to Sonny Michel. That'll do it. That's your final play of the game. Not unless they get up there and hurry up and snap it again. Yeah, that'll do it. Your final score here tonight on Monday Night Football. A big win for the San Francisco 49ers at home against division rival, the Los Angeles Rams, as they'll advance to 4-5. LA their second straight loss, dropping to 7-3, 31-10 your final. Matthew Stafford finished 26 of 41 for 243, a touchdown and 2 interceptions that really came back to hurt him. Garoppolo 15 of 19, a buck 82 and 2 touchdowns. Hell, that stat line didn't change since midway through the third quarter, for God's sakes. That's how good they were able to run the football tonight compared to the LA Rams. As LA, as a team, had 10 carries for 52 yards rushing. Henderson, 5 for 31 on the ground. Sonny Michel, 4 for 20. Elijah Mitchell led the way in the backfield for the 49ers. 27 carries, 91 yards rushing. Deebo Samuel ended up being the MVP in my eyes, as he had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Had 5 carries, 36 yards rushing, and a score, along with 5 catches, 97 yards receiving, and a score as well. George Kittle also had a receiving touchdown, but Jeff Wilson had 10 carries, 28 yards rushing as well. As a team, San Francisco 44 for a buck 56 on the ground and a score. And then receiving, Cooper Kupp, 11 catches, 122 yards receiving. Beckham in his debut, 2 of 18. Him and Von Miller really didn't do anything whatsoever. Higbee early was dominant, 3 catches, 20 yards and a score, but really didn't do anything afterwards. And then Michelle, 2 of 11 out of the backfield. Van Jefferson had 3 catches, 54 yards as well. Henderson, 4 for 10 out of the backfield too. But as mentioned, Deebo Samuel, his night, 5 catches, 97 yards and a score, along with a rushing touchdown and some rushing yards that I just mentioned off as well. Kittle, 5 for 50 in a score. Brandon Ayuk, 3 for 26. And in the end, in the 31-10 49er win over the Rams, the 2 interceptions came back to bite the Los Angeles Rams for Matthew Stafford, because they led to 14 49er points. The fake field goal that they should have kicked it. There's another 3, but they don't have that either. And then they, couldn't make stops on defense when the game was on the line. They couldn't stop the running game, and they couldn't run the ball. And the turnovers killed them. Couldn't make stops. And the Rams flat out got beat on the road here tonight on Monday Night Football. So I'll leave it at that. I'll keep it short and sweet this evening. But a good game. It was exciting still in everything that happened, I thought. It looks on the scoreboard, of course, sort of as a blowout, a 3-touchdown win, 31-10. But big win by the Niners, 31-10 at home against the Rams here tonight, once again on Monday Night Football. So, as always, thanks for tuning in and listening. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Glenn Luke 96, signing off for tonight. Hopefully we'll tune in, as mentioned, next weekend as well for more live watch-along reactions, college football, the NFL, and professional wrestling. So, yeah, that'll do it. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. And once more, thanks for tuning in as the 49ers win it 31-10 here tonight at home on Monday Night Football against the LA Rams, as the Rams and their turnovers and not being able to make stops and stopping the 49er running game came back to hurt them, and they lose by 21. A 21-point victory at home for the San Francisco 49ers and their first home win in almost 400 days. San Francisco wins it on Monday night here in the NFC West by your final score once again of 31-10. Once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below, and hopefully you'll tune in next weekend as well. For college football, Rutgers, Penn State, a doubleheader in the NFL next Sunday with Cowboys, Chiefs, and Steelers, Chargers, along with WWE Survivor Series live watch-along reactions as well. But in the meantime, once more, thanks for tuning in and listening. Keep an eye out for an AEW Full Gear review dropping on the channel midweek as well. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button, little notification bell next to it as well. Easiest way to stay up to date on social media. But in the end, here tonight, the 49ers win it. Once again, your final score of 31-10. The 49ers won it 31-10 over the visiting rival and the Los Angeles Rams.